This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty. Yes, sir. Good morning. Welcome aboard. Coming to you live, baby, from VSS West Pines. Yes, I can see it already, man. We got a bunch of people already jumping on the YouTube, which we love ya. We love you. We love you. We love you. You know, this is one of those days where I'm super, super happy. A lot of the things that we talked about throughout the offseason are coming to fruition. And the Dolphins, I feel, are headed in just an awesome direction. I really do. I love the way they're structuring, the way they're attacking the offseason and filling their needs. And then there's a part of me that is a little sad this morning. And I'm sad because the Tom Brady Patriot marriage is over. And listen, I'm not one of those guys that shies away from challenges. I'm not the guy that's afraid to fail. You can't succeed without failure. It's just one of those things. And I know the Dolphins have failed for a long time against the Patriots. But I wanted to be the team that knocked the Patriots out. I wanted to see, and they're going to do it anyway. All right, Belichick's going down. Okay? He's going down. And he's going to go down hard. And the Dolphins are going to dominate this division over the next couple of years. Okay? And we'll explain why on this show as we go on. But I wanted to enjoy the victory of kicking Belichick and Brady's ass all over the field. They got a taste of what was coming in Week 17 when the Dolphins had no talent on the field, and they knew what the Patriots were going to do, and they beat the Patriots and forced them to play in the wild card round, which obviously did not bode well for them. The decline was coming already. The decline was happening. And that's why Belichick is also getting off the gravy train. Because Brady's on the downward slope now. Now, the question is, what is Belichick going to find after this? Well, what's he going to sign? Andy Dalton? Jameis Winston? Are they going to go with Jarrett Stidham? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't care either at this point. Because I think that Miami is going to get the better end of these guys over the next couple of years. I know this coming season maybe, I don't know, the way they're stacking it up, might look like a little bit more of a transition year, but they're going to be pretty good this year. They're going to be pretty good this year with some of the things they're doing. I know that the quarterback position is still a question mark, obviously, and they've got to figure that out. But I love what they did yesterday in free agency and the way they started things. Tom Brady had some words this morning around, I want to say it was like 9 a.m. or something like that, 8 a.m. or something. He released this thing. It says, I want to thank you all for the incredible – I want to thank all of the incredible fans and Patriot supporters. Massachusetts has been my home for 20 years. It has been truly the happiest 2 decades I could have ever envisioned in my life, and I have nothing but love and gratitude for my time in New England. The support has been overwhelming. I wish every player could experience it. My children were born and raised here, and you always embrace this California kid as your own. I love your commitment and loyalty to our teams. And winning for our city means more than you will ever know. I can't thank you enough for the support of our team, the packed training camps, the sold-out stadiums, and mostly the victory parades. I've been so blessed to share them all with you. I tried to represent us always in the best and most honorable way, and I fought hard with my teammates to help bring victory and triumph, even in the most dire situations. You opened your heart to me, and I opened my heart to you. And Pats Nation will always be a part of me. I don't know what football future holds, but it's time for me to open a new stage for my life and career. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I will always love you and what we have shared. A lifetime full of fun memories. So this was Tom Brady bidding farewell, which, again, man, I didn't think this was going to happen. I thought that eventually cooler heads will prevail, but clearly this is – we talked about this, that the first go-around 2 years ago, the owner won the battle and made Belichick get rid of Garoppolo, okay? And the second go-around, I'm sure Belichick and Kraft had the conversation like, hey, when we cross this bridge again, I've got to be the one that makes a decision now. You had your shot. I respect it, but you got to give me mine if I want to move on. He wanted to move on from Brady 2 years ago. So clearly he's moving on now. Okay? And again, if that's what you want to do, then that's fine. He goes on to say, to all my teammates, coaches, executives, and staff, Coach Belichick, RKK, and the Kraft family, and the entire organization, I want to say thank you for the past 20 years of my life and the daily commitment to winning and creating a winning culture built on great values. I am grateful for all that you have taught me. I have learned from everyone. You all have allowed me to maximize my potential, and that is as a player I can ever hope for. Everything we have accomplished brings me great joy and lessons I have learned and will carry with me forever. I couldn't be the man I am today without the relationships you have allowed me to build with you. I have benefited from all you have given me. I cherish every opportunity. I had to be a part of our team, and I love you all for that. Our team has always set a great standard in pro sports, and I know it will continue to do just that. Although my football journey will take place elsewhere, I appreciate everything that we have achieved, and I'm grateful for our incredible team accomplishments. I've been privileged to have had the opportunity to know each and every one of you and to have the memories we have created together. So, and this is all crafted well, classy, all said the right way. Behind the scenes, Tom Brady is now out to prove Bill Belichick wrong. And Bill Belichick is out to prove Bob Kraft and Tom Brady wrong. Because he's going to tell Kraft, well, we could have moved 2 years ago and get ahead on this. Now you'll see what I'm going to do. So Belichick is pretty convinced that he's going to find his quarterback and move on, because you don't move on from the greatest quarterback of all time and not have some kind of a plan, right? So we'll see what happens now. Maybe he feels that he can plug in another player in his system and they're going to win anyway. We'll see. We'll see. This is going to be fun to watch, but it's also going to be a lot more difficult now for the Patriots. Because when you lose a player like Tom Brady, you just don't overcome that. And I know that people love to loosely throw out Matt Castle, because I've gotten that already on Twitter. Well, you know, Belichick won 11 games with Castle. Yeah, that was a hell of a team that was around Matt Castle. He doesn't have a hell of a team right now. And remember, what's been going on for many years in New England is that Brady elevated the play of everybody. And it wasn't like he was surrounded by superstars outside of Gronk. You had the 1 year with Randy Moss. But everybody else, he made into a star. All right? Edelman was a guy that he made into a star, and Welker, he made into a star, and Deion Branch played the way he played because he was part of, with Brady in that system. So let's not make it sound at all in any way, shape, or form like this is going to be an easy transition for the Patriots. This is going to be a lot harder than even I think Belichick thinks. And listen, I'm going to love every moment of it. Okay? Because I feel like our Dolphins are headed in an absolutely incredible direction. So Belichick goes on to say, Tom was not just a player who bought into our program. He was one of the original creators. Tom lived and perpetuated our culture on a daily basis. He was the tone setter and bar raiser. He won championships in 3 of his first 4 years on the field and 3 of his final 6 seasons with us, while competing for a championship in most every season in between. This is a credit to Tom's consistency and what separates him. He didn't just perform. He didn't just win. He won championships over and over again. Tom and I will always have a great relationship built on love, admiration, respect, and appreciation. Tom's success as a player and his character as a person are exceptional. Nothing about the end of Tom Brady's Patriots career changes how unfathomably spectacular it was. With his relentless competitiveness and longevity, he earned everyone's adoration and will be celebrated forever. It's been a privilege to coach Tom Brady for 20 years. Example of Tom's greatness are limitless. Going back even before he was drafted, we witnessed how he prepared when he wasn't playing, how he performed when he got his opportunity, what he did to continuously improve his leadership, his mindset, the examples he set, and of course, the person he is. I am extremely grateful for what he did for our team and for me personally. Sometimes in life, it takes some time to pass before you truly appreciate something or someone, but that has not been the case with Tom. He is a special person and the greatest quarterback of all time. It's a hell of a statement, and that's exactly what Belichick should say about him. Even though there's an ego there that he's got to, prove that he can move on to the next stage. Now, can I dare to give Belichick a little credit here? A little love here. Belichick has, I don't know if you call it magic, the touch, the timing, the balls, the bravery that it takes sometimes, because when you say, Lawyer Milloy, I don't need you anymore, and Richard Seymour, we're moving on from you, and Damian Woody, it's time, and Logan Mankins, thanks for the memories, and hey, Randy Moss, no, we're not paying you, take it easy, and it just goes, all the examples are there, okay? Rarely does anybody ever hurt Belichick when he releases you. But I want to give him credit because it's a gift that you have to have in order to survive in this world. And, I've seen Pat Riley at times have that gift where he'll make that tough decision and he'll part ways with somebody when he has to part ways with them. And I look at Bill O'Brien in Houston, a guy that is motivated by different things. And it's funny because he was around Belichick and didn't really learn. You know what I'm saying? And here's a guy that makes emotional decisions. Here's a guy that doesn't know what players to part with and what players to acquire. And that's why the Houston Texans are headed down a terrible road with a terrible trade for Tunsil, a terrible trade for their number one wide receiver, a terrible trade that in return they got a running back that's cooked. I could just go on and on. Bill O'Brien just doesn't get it, whereas this guy gets it. And this guy's willing to make the tough decisions, even if it's Tom Brady. Bill Walsh said, Joe, you were great for us, but I got to move on. I got this kid, Steve Young, that I acquired, and he's been sitting there patiently waiting. it's time. I got a movie on in Kansas City. And Joe, by the way, still was somewhat productive there. He did a nice job in Kansas City. So it wasn't like he was completely washed up, but the back injury, all that stuff, Bill Walsh didn't want to take the chance. So he made the tough decision. Indianapolis was lucky. They're not good. They were just lucky that they had Peyton Manning, and then he suffers the neck injury. They got to go to Curtis Painter, and they end up with one win and the number one pick, and they take luck, and then they get rid of Manning. And that was an easier transition because the guy suffered a neck injury, and you were afraid of his future and his health. So you had, the football gods just dropped a franchise quarterback in your lap, one of the better franchise quarterbacks in 20 years, and, you make that move. And so this gift is not – it's a tough one to have. It's a tough one to manage. And right now, Belichick – and he can manage this because he's got 6 titles. He's done it with so many other players that I'm sure the fans right now are killing themselves going, man, we lost Brady. And they're hurting. And it's understandable. I mean, when Marino retired, there were no championships, but I was hurting. I was hurting because I hated to see the way he went out. 62-7, bone spurs in the shoulder, a remedial offense that Jimmy Johnson had put in place, taking away all kinds of options for Marino. It became so predictable. People knew their signs. It was just crazy. You know what I mean? And frustration. And then when I still haven't recovered from Marino's retirement. One of those deals. So, but there in New England, they have recovered from all of this because they've seen this over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at this Tom Brady situation, there's a lot of great storylines to it. You know what I mean? And now we're going to see if either guy was right. Or how about this? Both guys are wrong. Belichick doesn't ever find the championship road again. Neither does Tom Brady in Tampa Bay, which is where I think he's going. I don't think he's going to go to the Chargers just because of what? Giselle and Los Angeles and all that? Nah. Tampa Bay, they're the better option for him. Even the better owners and the better head coach right now, I would go with Bruce Arians. And the team, actually. I think you go to Tampa. I think that's what you do. Instead of Los Angeles, there's so much pressure for you to be the entire savior out of all of this. But don't be surprised if neither one proves the other one wrong because neither one finds that championship light. Robert Kraft said, how do I possibly sum up the depth of my gratitude to Tom Brady for what he's given us these past 20 years? Or the sadness I feel knowing it's ending? Interesting. I love Tom like a son, and I will always. He has brought so much happiness to me personally and to all of our fans. I'd hoped this day would never come, but rather that Tom would end his remarkable career in a Patriots uniform. And after yet another Super Bowl championship, unfortunately, the two sides were unable to reach an agreement to allow that dream to become a reality. While sad today, the overwhelming feeling I have is appreciation for his countless contributions to our team and community. It's interesting how in a goodbye statement he says, unfortunately, the two sides were unable to reach an agreement. Two sides, like he wasn't part of either side. Right? Because he is part of one of the sides. Shouldn't he say, unfortunately, we weren't able? But I think by saying, unfortunately, the two sides, it's, hey, this is Belichick making this decision. I kept him around 2 years ago. I'm just saying. When Tom arrived in New England as the unheralded 6th-round pick, no one could have imagined the fairy tale story that would be written, the records that would be broken, or the joy he would bring to the entire region. He leaves 20 years later as the winningest quarterback in NFL history with 6 Super Bowl victories, 9 AFC titles, 17 division championships. He has been an exemplary teammate and leader. There simply will never be another Tom Brady. I now look forward to the day we can bring him back home to New England to celebrate his Patriots career. Kraft already wants him back. Anyway, his endless achievements and his legacy is the greatest of all time. I love him very much. No doubt, ladies and gentlemen, this is an owner that is pissed that he doesn't get to see Tom Brady finish his career. But he has to defer to his coach that drafted, developed Tom Brady, and the guy that's going to be around long term. Belichick won his battle 2 years ago. He lost the battle this time around, and he lost Tom Brady. I'm sad, man. I'm sad. I wanted him to come back to the Patriots, and I wanted to see Miami kick his ass. And Week 17 this year, as a Dolphins fan, for me, was one of my favorite weeks in the last, 10, 15 years. Because it meant something. That's the thing about Week 17 that people don't understand. And I get it. You're not a Dolphin fan. You're not going to care. But I'm a Dolphins fan. Through and through, born and raised. I will die a Dolphins fan. And I've been telling you that this is headed in the right direction. And that's what Week 17 was about. Week 17 was a culmination of a young football team going 5-4 in their last 9 games, showing drastic improvement from the beginning, playing as a team, okay, and figuring out their most difficult opponent that they faced every single year because they have dominated this division. And we've got the coach that knows that coach, knows that quarterback, knows that team. And with a fraction of the talent that the Patriots have, they beat them. And this wasn't a game that the Patriots didn't need and all. No. The Patriots had to win that game, and they knew it. And they wanted it, and they couldn't do it. And that's why I was telling you that that game meant a lot. Because in Brian Flores' first year, with the worst Dolphin team in history, he went into Foxborough and beat those guys. Now you're going to start giving him talent and 14 draft picks and a front office that knows what the hell they're doing? Look out, baby. Dolphins are coming. You bet your ass the Dolphins are coming. And that's why I'm sad that now when I watch the Dolphins turn the corner over the next couple of years and become a really good team, they're going to beat down the Patriots, but they're not going to beat them down with Tom Brady. And that part, for me, is the sad part of this entire equation. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We are at VSS West Pines. Come on out here, man. We're going to be out here for a few hours. We'll be out here till about 2:30. 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on out, have some fun. You can come by and see us. No shaking hands. We could just say what's up, that kind of stuff. No shaking hands, okay? No more shaking hands.
You got your yardstick with you?
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. 2 people meet up. You got a yardstick. I got a yardstick. There's 6 feet.
That's it. Don't forget, folks, to give us a thumbs up while you're watching the broadcast. Share the link of the YouTube broadcast. Share it with people out there. Send it to somebody on a text, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. We take a really quick break. We come back. Let's talk about what the Dolphins did yesterday. Because if you're a Dolphins fan, buddy, sweetheart, you better be effing pumped. Because what they did yesterday was awesome, was impactful, was smart, was the way you reconstruct a football team. And I can't wait for the 2020 season. Back on the other side from VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Back with more on The Big O Show.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O.
All right, yeah. We are ready to rock and roll from VSS West Pines. Listen, we got a loaded show. We're going to have Mike Reese on right now, but because of the Tom Brady story breaking, we can't get him on today. So, unfortunately, we're not going to have Mike Reese on. But we were set to have him on at 11 o'clock and talk a little. I was bringing him on to talk more about Kyle Van Noy, and that acquisition obviously coming from the Patriots. So let's get into what the Dolphins did yesterday because I freaking loved it. And let's go over and one of the things, remember I told you guys from the get-go that if the Dolphins are going to spend money, they're going to spend money on young free agents. Did I not tell you that? Did I not tell you from the get-go that, hey, listen, they're not going to go crazy buying old guys and all of that, but if they can get 20-something-year-old free agents, they're going to do it, correct? So first of all, before I talk about the impact of the players and why I like them, but let's talk about this first and foremost because this is what I was forecasting. All right, Byron Jones, he is 27 years old in the 2020 season. It's a 5-year deal. So he will be, and listen, he'll be a free agent in 2025 at 32 years old. This deal may not even get to 5 years. It's really probably more of a 3-year deal, and then you kind of reassess, and they could probably get out and take a cap hit from that point on. If he's still playing at a high level, they could allow that 4th year or 5th year, but they're going to get the 3 years out of him because they got a 27-year-old. So 27, 28, and 29. You're still Once you get to 30 and 31 and all that, then that's where it starts to get a little ugly, right? So, again, young guy. I told you, right? 25, 26, 27, they get those kind of guys. Shaq Lawson just finished his first contract, 25 years old right now. Now, he'll be 26 for the 2020 season. He signed a 3-year deal, so 26, 27, and 28. Shaq Lawson is, I'll get into the player in a minute. Eric Flowers. Now, Eric Flowers is also a young player. The only thing about the Eric Flowers deal, and listen, it's a 3-year deal. They can get out after 2 and take a $3 million cap hit if he doesn't play well. They're not going to cut him after 1 year, but they can cut him after 2 years and take a $3 million cap hit and not use him for the 3rd season. Now, Eric Flowers was, well, you know what? I'll get to the player in a minute. Just want to get let me just again mention you got young players again. Clayton is it Fedgerlem or something like that? He's a good special teamer. I know he's a safety also, but he's probably going to be a real standout special teamer. Again, a 3-year deal, $8.5 million. We're talking about a 27-year-old player. So 27, 28, and 29. Again, $3 million of it is guaranteed. It's not really a big deal. The other deals aren't that huge. Like Shaq Lawson is not an enormous deal. Neither is Eric Flowers. Kyle Van Noy. That's the oldest player they signed. Now, Kyle Van Noy will be 29 this year for this season. He'll be 30 next year. It's actually a 2-year deal for $27.5 million. They can cut him after the 2nd year and take a $6 million dead cap money and move on. They don't have to keep years 3 and 4. So, really smart on their part. They get him for 29 and 30, which at linebacker you should be fine at that age, barring injury, which could happen to anybody. But again, they protect themselves because once you hit 30, the 3rd year, when you're 31, they can say, okay, there's been a decline. They can move out and say, no, we don't want to pay the $12.2 million. It goes down to 11.1 in his 4th year. Again, not cap crippling or anything like that. If he's productive, you keep him. If he's not, you can get out of it. Very smart. Okay? And this is what I was telling you before. This is a different front office now. They're not just going to hand out money to people and all of that. These are all moves that make a ton of sense. These are all moves that these are young players. Well, not young, but they're in their prime, except for Kyle Van Noy. These are all in their prime years where they're going to play their best football during that contract. Now, this is why I kept telling you all throughout the offseason that if they spend, it won't be a whole bunch of money for an old guy. It won't be a guy that's coming here to close out his career or anything. No. It's going to be a semi-young guy in his mid-20s that they can build on, which is what they're going to do. These are all building blocks, okay? So, again, intelligence in the way you go after free agency, guys that aren't old, guys that aren't injury-prone, all that kind of stuff. Boom, we got that, right? Now let's talk about the players that they acquired, okay? First of all, Kyle Van Noy. Here's one thing you're going to love about Kyle Van Noy, and the coaches are going to love even more than you. They don't have to teach him the system. They don't have to tell him what they require from him. Why? Brian Flores already coached him. Already knows him. Knows how he's going to use him. He's super versatile. Does everything on the field. Mark Lillibridge did a nice breakdown of him, and we're going to have Bridge on at 2 o'clock so he can talk a little bit about Van Noy and Shaq Lawson. And Van Noy is a guy that can cover some, can rush the passer, is excellent against the run. He is versatile. And again, that's what you kind of need on this team. I mean, even Byron Jones. Byron Jones can play a little safety if you have to. He's not. He's going to play corner, opposite of X. Now, some people think that they're going to try to move X. I don't think that they're going to try to move X, at least not this year. I think they want to bring X back. I think they want to build his stock back again. He stays out of trouble for a year. He kicks ass, goes to the Pro Bowl, and then maybe next year you can think about it if that would be the plan. I don't know yet. I don't think it'll be this offseason, okay? I think you go and you keep those two corners. Do you know why? When you have two lockdown corners, your pass rush becomes that much better. You just bought your pass rush another half second or a second to get to the quarterback by adding Byron Jones and getting X healthy. And remember, they have slots. So they have a good slot corner if they want in Bobby McCain. I know they got him at safety, but they could put him at slot. Nick Needham helped out a little bit too in that spot. We'll see how they kind of finish all that out, and they got to go after a safety in the draft, I would imagine. But Byron Jones, and now Byron Jones is an excellent cover guy. The ball skills aren't great. Okay, he's solid in that area, not great, because he just doesn't intercept the ball a lot. It's just he doesn't come down with it. For whatever reason, I don't know, but it just hasn't been his thing in his career. He's great at covering. He's great at deflecting passes and things like that, but, you know, taking the ball away, which is a huge thing in this league to create turnovers, that just hasn't been something that's gone his way. Maybe it changes here. I don't know. So far, it hasn't been his thing. The ball is in the air, and somehow or another, he just doesn't end up with it. Okay? But he's a really good cover corner. You're not going to get burned a lot with him and X. I love it. I love it because Kyle Van Noy and Shaq Lawson become better players, and Taco Charlton becomes a better player, and Wilkins becomes a better player, and Davin Godchow becomes a better player. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to get a little extra time to get there because you've got two exceptional corners out there. I love the move. I really do. You could draft a young corner, but then you got to, develop. This kid you don't have to develop. Byron Jones he is what he is already. He's a stud corner. So now you got two excellent corners. Shaq Lawson adds to the rotation on defensive end. I won't call Shaq Lawson an elite defensive end because it's taken him a while to kind of develop. And he had his best year last year, but I think he's more of a rotational defensive end. Now, remember, this isn't a draft loaded with defensive ends. So it was imperative that you did something about the pass rush here in free agency. And by adding Shaq Lawson and Kyle Van Noy, you now have added two guys that can get after the passer. I expect Christian Wilkins to improve. I expect this to make Davin Godchow better. And let me tell you something. Andrew Van Ginkel is a guy that is going to love being around Kyle Van Noy. Because I think they look at Kyle Van Noy and then they look at Andrew Van Ginkel and they go, okay, he's got those kind of skill sets. Now, whether he can become Kyle Van Noy, that's high praise, and we hope so. But if you have those kind of skill sets, don't you want to learn from somebody that actually can do it? And that's what I'm talking about. So this is going to be really, really cool for a guy like Andrew Van Ginkel, which, I don't know about you guys, I like the little we saw from him when he finally got healthy and got on the field the last couple of weeks. I was like, hey, I kind of like this kid. Now, we got to see a lot more to say that, hey, he's a player and he can help out and all that stuff. But because of his skill set, he's got a Kyle Van Noy now that he can learn from. I love that. I love that. And then you add Shaq along with Taco Charlton, okay? Now you start to develop a rotation of guys that can get after the quarterback. They'll probably draft another one somewhere in that draft. I don't know where, but I would imagine maybe that first round, an Epinesa at number 18 or something like that would be really, really good because that would make you – I think Epinesa also would be a solid pass rusher, not a great pass rusher, but I think he's going to be elite against the run. I think he turns into that kind of a player. And Van Noy is a guy that can do – that's what I liked about Van Ginkel, that when I looked at him, I go, This kid kind of has skill sets that he'd be able to rush the passer, hold the point on the edge, defend the run. I'm looking forward to it, man. I think this is a really, really good move. Flowers, Eric Flowers is the only one that I kind of like. I love what they did yesterday. I give him an A-, okay? It could become an A+ if Flowers actually develops consistency. My problem with Eric Flowers is that he was terrible at tackle. I mean, absolutely terrible. Now, he's not the first guy in the world and in the history of football that he moved to the next level and he wasn't good at one position, but then they found another one for him and he excelled at it. Last year, Eric Flowers excelled at left guard. Today, we're going to have Kevin Sheehan, who covered Eric Flowers last year with the Redskins, and we'll ask him. But Flowers played really well at left guard last year. Now, I have to go with maybe that was an aberration. That's the only one that it's not that much of a question because it's not like they spent a whole boatload of money. $10 million per year is not earth-shattering. And considering how much cap space they have over the next couple of years, if they screw up with this one, they can sweep it under the rug after the second year and move on. So it's not the end of the world. I love all the other picks. This one really puts you over the top if the guy actually comes in and becomes a left guard. If he can actually develop consistency and play again well at left guard, then I become a believer. You know what I mean? But I have problems with that right now. That's the only one that I kind of question a little bit and say, I need to see more. But all the other guys, I talked to a scout, a buddy of mine that knows the Bengals really well, and he told me that kid will be a really good special teamer. The Fegedellum, I think it is how it's pronounced, Clayton Fegedellum. I'm not exactly sure. We'll eventually get the pronunciation. But the scout felt that he would actually do pretty well. And the deal's a joke anyways. 3 years, $8.5 million. That's a special team, is what it is. You're not getting a starting safety for that. I mean, if he becomes a starting safety, boy, the scouting department really kicked ass there. But I really love what they did because, okay, now, we talked about the players, right? Okay, first of all, we talked about the philosophy, and I told you for months now, what would the philosophy be in free agency? And sure enough, they followed it to a T. Now I told you about the players, okay? The one thing that I want to mention is I start to look at this now with X-Man, with Byron Jones. Nick Needham also showed me a little something, so he could be a back-end guy. Bobby McCain, whether he is safety along with Eric Rowe. Eric Rowe also showed me that he can cover tight ends. How about Eric Rowe? A guy that was terrible at corner, but they figured a role for him at defending safeties, and he excelled at it. So you got those guys there. I still think that there's going to be some movement in safety. I don't know about free agency, but definitely in the draft, they've got to get a safety. And remember, cover skills are very important, okay? Linebackers, right? Now you got Kyle Van Noy, you got Jerome Baker, you got Raekwon McMillan, Egwavon. I love what I saw from Vince Beagle, Andrew Van Ginkel, and we don't really know anything about Trent Harris yet, but he's got some skills. So all those players are in the mix. At defensive end and defensive tackle, you got Christian Wilkins, you got Godchild, you got Shaq Lawson, you got Taco Charlton, and the Zach Seiler kid that they picked up from Baltimore's practice squad. And he had that monster game in Week 16, and then all of a sudden in the Patriots game they kind of put him on ice. I'm intrigued by that one game that I saw from the kid that I want to see what else he's got. I can't wait for training camp and all that to start seeing that kid. So I can't put him there for depth, but I had to mention Seiler because he caught my attention. I'm sorry, I like what I saw from the kid, so I got to throw it out there. But what I like is, think about this. It's only been one calendar year. We haven't even added the draft yet. Okay? That's 14 more picks that are coming. And, I don't know, undrafted rookie free agent. One stolen off a practice squad, the other one undrafted. Maybe you can do that again. Find another guy. Look at Damian Williams. He was a find for the Dolphins. And Kansas City, I'm sure, loves his ass. Right? So, you can find those kind of guys.
What did I say yesterday? The 7th round pick, 3 of them. That's better than Preston Williams.
Right, yeah.
He was street.
Yeah, street.
So imagine if we turned something into those 3 picks. That would be, and it's not inconceivable. They've been doing it.
No. Now, so you think about this, okay? And here's where I got to give some of you crazy bastards out there some credit, okay? Because some of you guys, I thought more years 3 and 4, especially 4 for playoffs. Man, you have the right draft, and you might sneak into the playoffs this year. I mean, if you won 5 games with no talent, remember X was also injured. You had a few guys injured also. It wasn't like you were, even though you had no talent, you were also injured. You also had guys that were out that could have helped you. And you still went and beat the Patriots on the road in Foxborough. Oh, Belichick. Dolphins are coming for you, baby. Oh. I'm telling you, I mention all these guys, and I've left out a couple players, too, that I like on this team, like Preston Williams and all that. I haven't even mentioned those guys. But what I'm saying is this, for me, it's almost like you're fast-tracking things in a way. And, again, you used your money in a smart way where you got guys that can actually live out most of the contract. Because you and I, come on, man. We're tired of watching the overpaid, old free agents that you bring in, and they're trying to give you 1 or 2 good years, and they're breaking down, and then you got to cut them and take all this cap hit because you give them a 3 or 4 year deal. And it's like you're signing guys at the end of their careers. None of these guys are at the end of their careers. And even the guy that is 29 only has a 2-year deal in place for his 29th and his 30th year on this earth. If he wants to earn years 3 and 4, he's got to be productive in years 1 and 2 to earn years 3. If there's any kind of decline, you're out. You protected yourself. I'm just saying. I just love the way all of this is being structured. It makes a ton of sense. All right, 786-322-1105 is the accidentlawfirm.com text line. And remember, we're out here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Let me do a little roll call here before we go to the break at the bottom of the hour because, man, we got a boatload of people on here. Go Gators, Alex Rodriguez, Miguel Garcia, The Dude, George Albanese, Manny Machine, 2019 Miami Miracle, Eric EJD Construction, baby, Eddie Pichardo. Good morning, everybody. Ty is in there saying a beautiful morning. Now that Brady is out of New England, I want him back in New England to kick his ass. John Rouse says free agent thoughts. Well, you got him now, Johnny. Sneak Attack 305. After all the Finn signings yesterday, I couldn't wait for your show today. Thank you, sir. Rich V is in the house. Mace Taggart. Ian from Brooklyn. Let's see, what else do we have here? SoFlo fan says, I absolutely love the moves, Big O. All young players with huge potential. No signing of old veterans. I told you, if they sign an old guy, it's a 1-year deal, maybe 2, something like that. Not more than that. Let's see, I am 100% in agreement with you on Brady. Fred Soros says, good morning, Big O and Bill. My brother's from Michigan. Howie Ziegler says we're getting some echo. Try to fix the echo. Let's see. What else do we have? Rich V, that mystery team is Miami. No, Brady's not coming to Miami, dude. That's a bogus report. That was a bogus report from the get-go. Miami's not interested in Brady. Go Gator says, I like the Lawson deal, dislike Flowers, like Jones, Van Noy, but they were overpaid. Sir, in free agency, you always overpay. Great moves by Chris Greer and Bill O'Brien is why you don't make coaches general managers. Man of 1,005 holds, you are correct, sir. Armed Ape is chiming in. Myron Sanchez is in. What else do we have here? Rick Badboy, Pat should go after Winston. Gus 1388, defensive end Emmanuel Ogba has agreed to terms with the Dolphins. Oh, I have to look that up. There you go, defensive end. They a little pass rush. Remember, this draft sucks in pass rush. They're draft for wide receivers, for offensive tackles, for running backs, for a quarterback, and that's why Miami has a boatload of picks. There's going to be a lot of offensive flavor to that draft. Let's see. Hey, it's great to be a Dolphin fan. Reach back, grab a bong, and spark up. You got it, baby. The MMA fortune teller, Dolphins, baby. Josh says, what's up? What else do we have? Eugene96. What's up, my people? Derek Brown on deck for Miami. Bromar Smelly. Dolphins just signed Emmanuel Ogba, a defensive end, another pass rusher. Yes. We'll look it up now for you guys. I've been talking. Drubo is chiming in. Mike Monaco's chiming in. Bunch of you folks out there. James Burke, we will win 10 games now that Brady's out. Although it would have been nicer, James, if they win 12 games with Brady in, right? I'm just saying. I just really wanted to stick it to Brady, bro. Josh says it's going to feel weird seeing Brady in another uniform. You're right. Let's see. What else? Alex Diaz is, I love what the Dolphins are doing. I'm with you. William Cook. Here we just signed Emmanuel Ogba. Yes, thank you, all of you out there. Eduardo Gonzalez. Finally, no more Brady go Fins. Matt Cole says, now let's get Tua. Cam Newton seeking a trade. Yeah, but not to Miami. I don't want Cam Newton. Let's see. What else do we have? NorCal Big O. Getting a lot of action on the message board today. Is everyone home listening? I'm at work, but always listening. Share the show on your social media pages, listeners. Yep, you're right. Share it. Share that show. Steve Chapman, they have beaten down Tom Brady his whole career. He was 8-10 all-time in Miami against garbage Dolphins teams. Armed Ape, you know what would be sadder? Watching them beat down a 45-year-old Brady. I'm okay with this. We are the new hot thing in the division. Nah. I would have liked to beat down Brady and Belichick. Sorry. I would have taken some real pleasure in that. Big Rig says, what's up, NorCal? He's on the road. PK Special, the guy takes the longest commercials in the world. This guy takes the longest commercials in the world, I do. PK, brother, what is wrong with you, bro? Are you out of your mind? I have just been talking for almost a half hour straight. You don't get that anywhere. Some people, man, they're never satisfied. Let's see what else. Peter says, Big O, over 100 viewers should have 100 thumbs up. Let's go. Thumbs up, everybody. Thumbs up. Let's go. Share the link. EJD says, please talk about your opinion to what we will do with our current linebacking core. Oh, linebackers, I think they could draft another one. That's for sure. But I don't think that they're going to go crazy with their linebackers. They've got enough now. But I think they could draft another one. Big O, what do you think about free agents so far? Well, I think I've told you that already. I love what they've done. Let's see. What else? Jay Gafflin says, good morning, Orlando. I'm excited about the news from the Dolphins yesterday. Looking forward to hearing your opinions on the moves. Thank you, sir. Matt Cole, that's common sense. Let's see, what else do we have here? Troy George, Miami's 2021. Houston Texans first-round pick is going to be a top 15 pick. Yep. Oh, they're going to suck next year. Wow, there's so many of you. Wow, there's a lot of you chiming in. NorCal goes, Big O doesn't take commercial breaks. Those are short breaks are to catch his breath. Long commercials? Come on, man. Clowney's still a free agent, Big O. Yeah, and he can stay a free agent. Okay? Clowney wants way too much money and that knee and all that. No, dude. You can have him. And he doesn't come up with great sack numbers. Okay? I know he's a heck of a player, but no, that's not the kind of free agent you want to go after. You want to go after healthy ones. Not ones that are dying to get that big old, payday. Let's see. Frito says, loving your show. You really give a different point of view. Well, thank you, sir. Well, that's because on this show we've got balls. We can actually say what we want. Panthers are struggling badly and that Dale Talon needs to be fired. Find out if anybody in Intercom's got the balls to say that. They can't. They got the Panthers on their stations. Trust me, I know. I worked for the wimpy general manager. I know what it's like to work for somebody that has no balls. So, yeah, that's why you're going to hear something different here. You're actually going to hear brutal honesty. No politics. Don't have to worry about that. Not that I ever did. That's why I was in a constant fight behind the scenes because I could give my opinions, Last year, anybody on the station was saying fire Tannenbaum, fire Gase, and put Greer in place. Anybody on Intercom saying that. They can't say that. They don't have the balls to say that. I'm the only one that says that. And then they come to me and say, why are you saying to fire the head coach and the general manager? And I'm saying because they deserve to get fired. And guess what? The owner fired him. And so I got fired too. All right, let's go. Let's take a break. Calvin Watkins is going to join us. Byron Jones is a Miami Dolphin. Byron Jones was a Dallas Cowboy. Let's get a breakdown on Byron Jones from Calvin Watkins and the Dallas Morning News. Next.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We are back. VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on out here, man. We'll be out here till about 2:30. The Miami Dolphins, yesterday, they signed Byron Jones to a contract. A 5-year, $82 million deal. $57 million of it was guaranteed. My buddy Calvin Watkins, who works for the Dallas Morning News, is a man that has covered Byron Jones. So I figured let's get a little insight on the corner for the Miami Dolphins with a guy that has been covering him for the last couple of years. Cal, good afternoon, or good morning, actually, my friend. How you doing?
I'm good. What's going on? You all right?
I'm doing great, brother. I can't complain. I'm corona-free right now, I think, at least. I think.
That's good.
Right,
That's
think.
good.
Right, because we really don't know if we're all corona-free. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's how weird it is. We could be walking around with it and not showing any kind of symptoms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the scary part about it. But, we got to get tested. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Let's just see if we can get everybody tested. That's the bottom line right now. Let's get everybody tested. All right. You can follow Calvin, by the way, on Twitter like I and so many others do at Calvin Watkins and catch his work there at the Dallas Morning News. Cal, I'm sure you're not surprised that Byron Jones didn't return to the Cowboys. How surprised were you at the deal and that he ended up in Miami?
I'm very surprised that he ended up in Miami because I thought the Dolphins were rebuilding. And usually when you rebuild, it takes about 2 to 3 years to get things going. And then when you can invest as much money as you have into Byron Jones, making the highest paid corner in the league's history, that tells a lot about where you're trying to go as a football team. Byron's people were expecting him to get a big money contract. I had talked to his agents at the Combine, and so to them, this was expected. I think for a lot of us who have seen Byron over the years, very athletic guy, very cerebral, was drafted as a safety, converted to corner. Doesn't get a lot of picks, hasn't had an interception in the last 2 years, but he's a very good corner guy. He can play man. He can play in the slot if need to. Well-rounded player. I don't know if he, the money they gave him, if he's worth all that, but apparently the Dolphins feel like he is, and this is the start of something new for Miami in terms of they're going for it, in my opinion. All they need now is a quarterback.
Yes, and they've needed that since 13 retired. All right, so going back to Jones. All right. Now, when you say and listen, you always overpay in free agency. That's always going to happen. It's rare that you're going to get a bargain in free agency unless the guy has some kind of baggage or an injury or something like that you could get a little bit of a break. But with Byron, the one thing that I will say is, it looks like he is elite as a cover corner. Where he's not elite is at taking the football away. He doesn't end up with a lot of interceptions. Is that the department where you kind of question a little bit? Is he worth that kind of money because he doesn't really take the ball away a lot?
Yeah, that's the issue. He's one of those types of players where you have to watch him every play. And then at the end of the game, you say, he just have an interception. He has maybe 3 tackles, maybe 2. So what did he do? And then you watch him take the game again, and you see he shut someone down for about 80% of the game.
Right.
They didn't throw on his side. That's the type of player he is. He's not going to have a lot of surface stats that's going to make you say, wow, he's had a great game. He's going to do all the little things that you don't see initially when you watch the football game. And that's going to be hard to justify to the general fan who's going to say, well, you gave this guy over $80 million and he's got no interceptions. So, but the flip side is, we gave him all this money, but he shut down the Patriots' best receiver. He shut down Robbie Anderson of the Jets. You know, he shut down Stephon Diggs of the Bills. That's what he does. So that's how you justify the type of money that you're giving him.
Okay. When you see what they're doing now with X on one side and then Byron Jones on the other, Cal, they're going to have to test somebody because so Byron will get his share of opportunities, and so will X now, because you got no choice now. What are you going to do? Not throw to your outside receivers? That's going to be so. I think that's what the Dolphins are trying to do, is get the two corners, and that will also improve their pass rush too. I know they've added, a couple of pass rushers as it is, but I think that's kind of the philosophy. Hey, let's get the two cover guys, and that'll make everybody's life a lot easier.
Yeah, it's true. If you have a good pass rush, it can lead to interceptions. That's what, coaches and players have said from the beginning of the NFL history, that you get pressure on the quarterback when he's throwing, it can lead to interceptions. You better have guys who can catch the football and be in position to intercept those passes. That's the other key, and they don't mention a whole lot. Look, every corner gets beat in this league. They all get beat every once in a while. Deion Sanders got beat. They all get beat. So when you have a guy like X and you got a guy like Byron Jones, there's going to be times they're going to give it up. And then that's where you really get to find out how good of a guy he is and if he's worth the money. And we'll find out week 1 for the Dolphins.
What kind of player is he in the locker room, Cal? What kind of a leader is he? Is he the quiet type? Is he the vocal type? Tell us a little bit about Byron Jones, the person.
I think he's a quiet guy. He's not going to be a very vocal leader. The interesting thing about him, he was the Cowboys player rep this past season, so that tells you a little bit about him and what he cared about. East Coast guy, very cerebral. I'm not going to say he's going to go out of his way to talk to the media, but when he did make himself available, he was good to talk to. He's going to be a cliche type of guy. That's how he is. Went to UConn. Very smart guy, as I said. But he's going to be a good locker room guy. He's going to be what I think Coach Flores wants: a quiet, confident guy who's going to let his play do most of the talking more than anything else.
So that's the other thing. This is not one of those guys that's got an opinion on everything. This guy's going to be a team player. I would imagine that falls in line a lot with what Flores is doing.
I think he's going to answer your question. He's not going to come out and say, "Oh, X, Y, Z." You ask him a question, he's going to answer it as honestly as he possibly can. But he's not going to cause a whole lot of waves. That's never been Byron Jones. He's a proper, he's a by the book, proper protocol type of guy. That's who he is.
Calvin Watkins, of course, from the Dallas Morning News, joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at Calvin Watkins. So, Cal, what happens with Dak Prescott, man? Because when you tag, that's not usually a good thing. Do cooler heads prevail, and does a deal get done by July?
Well, they got to July 15th, I believe, to work a deal. I mean, they've offered him, a large contract, more than Jared Goff and more than Carson Wentz. But Dak wants a 4-year deal. The Cowboys are offering a 5-year deal. So that is where there's a big difference between them. And I don't know how much the money difference is between 4 years and 5 years, but that seems to be the holdup at this stage right now. I'm very surprised that Prescott has not gotten a new contract. I would think that this is your franchise quarterback and you want to lock him up long term, but they haven't been able to do it. So, but the best thing they could do now is franchise him, which is what they did yesterday, and give him about $31 million, something like that. So at least he's going to get $31 million in 2020.
Okay, so let me ask you something. As we allow this to drag on, and clearly you said, what they offered him was more than Goff and who was the other quarterback you mentioned?
Carson Wentz.
Right?
Carson Wentz.
Okay,
Yeah.
but he's looking maybe to be the top-paid quarterback, and now he looks at Kirk Cousins getting that extension where he now becomes the top-paid guy, and Dak's looking around going, well, wait a minute, dude, Kirk Cousins is not better than I am. I'm just as good or better than Kirk Cousins, and I've proven it with my stats. So as time goes on and other guys are getting deals, does this make it harder for Dallas to re-sign him? Because, the Pat Mahomes deal is going to come down the line too. And that's going to I know nobody's in his stratosphere. I get it. We don't look at Dak at that level. But still, it's going to drive up the price. So do things get harder for the Cowboys and Dak as time goes on in this whole situation?
Yeah, I think it will get a little bit harder. The Cowboys have to get this deal done before Pat Mahomes begins his discussions with Kansas City. And the other problem is Pat Mahomes is expected to break the bank. Dak Prescott is also expected to break the bank. So, from Dak Prescott's perspective, he's like, look, I want to be a high-paid quarterback in the game because when Pat Mahomes gets his money, when Deshaun Watson gets his money, and Lamar Jackson gets his money, my money's going to be pushed back down. I want to be the highest paid to maybe the fourth or the fifth highest paid, depending on what these other guys are going to get. So give me as much money as I possibly can. Now, on the Cowboys side, they're like, look, man, we don't care about what Pat Mahomes is going to get. That's none of our business. You're being judged financially with Jared Goff and Carson Wentz and Russell Wilson, especially the other two guys in Wentz and Goff because they were in your draft class. So that you should be worried about them, not Pat Mahomes, not Deshaun Watson, not Lamar Jackson. So that is where the big discrepancies come in at, and I can understand both sides of it because Dak is looking at it as if, look, I'm going to be playing just as long as Pat Mahomes is going to be playing, so you should pay me. Cowboys' perspective is, hey, you weren't playing in February like Pat Mahomes was. We expect you to, but you haven't gotten to February, and you want to get paid like guys who have been playing in February, meaning the Super Bowl. So it's a very interesting dynamic that the Cowboys are in, but to be honest, Prescott has outplayed his contract. He was a fourth-round pick, so he should be paid handsomely so. What that number is uncertain, but one thing we do know is the Cowboys have offered him more than Wentz and Goff.
All right, good stuff. Cal, before I let you go, what the hell is Bill O'Brien smoking in Houston? How legal is weed in Texas? Because my man, you know what? I'm not even going to pick on anybody smoking weed. He's got to be smoking dirt or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. Can you explain his thinking, just out of curiosity?
I can't explain his thinking, but the problem with the Texans is the head coach is the general manager.
Amen.
And that is a problem, as you know, because the head coach, he's only thinking of things in the short term, like what can I do today? The general manager looks at the big picture of things, and it's hard to do both when you're the head coach and GM, and that's where the problem is. From what I've been reading, it seems as if Bill O'Brien's had issues with DeAndre Hopkins throughout the course of the year, and so now he's looking for a quieter guy. Bill had problems with Jadeveon Clowney. Got rid of Clowney, sending him to Seattle. So whenever you have conflict with the head coach, who's also the guy who's in charge of the personnel, that leads to problems. So, trading that kid with
Hopkins
to Arizona was unbelievable. That was a bad trade, especially when you saw what Minnesota got with Stephon Diggs.
And let me tell you something. I got to give Arizona a lot of credit because I watched
great trade for them.
Yeah, no, not only just that trade. Since they drafted the kid, the quarterback, Kyler Murray, they have been responsible in surrounding him as much as possible so he can succeed. Even when they had running back issues, they went and traded for Kenyon Drake in the middle of the season because they needed a running back because everybody was breaking down. And that's the other thing. Bill O'Brien took David Johnson's contract, which is just absolutely moronic. But anyway, and now they go and get this kid. They go get Hopkins when they've got the Christian Kirk kid who is actually really talented.
Pretty good.
Yeah, dude. And they've got Fitzgerald. So I love the fact that, we watched Indianapolis allow their quarterback to get killed by not building a line, a running game, and just, all right, go ahead, Andrew, carry us. They're not doing that with Kyler Murray. To their credit, they're finding ways to make his life a lot easier, and God bless him for that, because if you're going to draft a damn young quarterback, help the young man. And I got to give Arizona a lot of credit. They're making moves to help Kyler Murray succeed. You can't ask more than that, bro. You can't.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's a good trade for them. I think they made a really good deal. They got one of the best receivers in the game. Now, you're going to have to pay him, and that's okay. That's what you have to do with elite talent. But you don't trade away elite talent, and that's what the Texans have done. And they play in a really bad division, AFC South, that has enabled them to get to the playoffs last couple of years. And that also allows O'Brien the power to make these moves, because he says, hey, I get to the postseason every year. But, we'll find out if Tennessee and Indy can respond this year in the offseason. Where I saw Cam Newton is seeking a trade. I think I saw something with Phillip Rivers might be going to Indianapolis. So the division might be changing a little bit there and putting a lot of pressure on the Texans if they can win the division or even make the postseason as a wild card.
Yeah, and they go and give Randall Cobb, a guy that's on the back end of his career, has had his share of injuries. And then you're also counting on Will Fuller, who I love, but he's always injured. Always. That hammy of his is permanently injured. I mean, I don't know what Bill O'Brien is thinking. I have no idea. And that poor kid, Watson gets killed back there. It's really, really nuts. And the money they're going to have to pay Laramie Tunsil, and Laramie Tunsil knows that because you traded the world for him, and you can't allow him to walk out the door now. He's got that Texans team and Bill O'Brien by the man. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, I like the Tunsil deal. I did like him because, they were desperate because the offensive line was terrible.
Yes.
Before they made that trade. So look, sometimes you got to overpay to improve a unit that's important, like the offensive line. So I was okay with that. But this one, getting rid of Hopkins, it kind of counteracts what you were doing with the tackle.
Yeah.
If you're saying, look, we need premier talent, and then you trade some talent away, then you bring Randall Cobb, who had a fantastic year for the Cowboys last year, a bounce-back year. But, as you said, the previous 2 years he was dealing with health issues. So now he's going to be 30 years old. So, I don't know. I think that was a weird signing, too. I like Randall Cobb, but I wouldn't have given him a 3-year deal. No way.
I'm with you there. Follow him on Twitter at Calvin Watkins. Catch his work there at the Dallas Morning News. Cal, stay corona-free, baby. You stay safe, and thank you for taking some time. All right?
You too, brother. Take care.
All right, baby. Be good. There you go. Calvin Watkins, man. Good stuff there. Was somebody goes, where is it that I saw this? GPP Central goes, let's not talk about Byron Jones, 6 years and 2 interceptions. I know he doesn't intercept the ball, but he shuts down people. But he's not going to – his ball skills are not great. He just does not take away the football. It's just – he'll bat it down. He'll defend the player. And you heard Calvin Watkins. You'll go back and you'll go, okay, he didn't have a lot of tackles, had no interceptions, but they didn't catch any balls on him. That's kind of what it is. I mean, you can't get everything that you want sometimes. I would love to get the corner that also covers and can get a lot of interceptions. But if you can cover, I'm good with that at least. Look, with Byron and X, you are going to have one hell of a tandem now. But that's, I said that last night when they signed him. I said, hey, hell of a corner, not great ball skills. And some guy on Twitter comes back at me and goes, hey, I just rolled the tape and I saw him defend a lot of passes. And I said, yes, but did you see him catch any of them? And then I never heard from the guy again after that. Because that's usually what happens. The guy was like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So, yeah, Byron is a hell of a corner. Just don't expect him to have big interception numbers. He will cover guys. They won't get big yards on him. They're not going to be burning him left and right. He's not going to be Bobrovsky. Okay, put it that way. How Bobrovsky gets burned all the time, is one of the worst goaltenders in hockey this year. That won't happen to Byron Jones. He won't be a bad corner. He'll be a very good corner. He just won't be elite in interceptions. But if guys aren't burning him, I'm good with that. I got no problem with that. Now, because he's playing opposite of X, the gamble is that Byron's going to get more action than X. That's why? Because you don't take away the ball. X will. X will defend, and he will take away the football. That's the difference between those two. Xavier Howard has exceptional ball skills. Byron Jones does not. He's not exceptional when it comes to ball skills.
Would you say this takes us back to Sertan Madison?
No.
Okay.
No, because they're both ball hawks.
Right.
They both are ball hawks. Plus, I'm not doing that now. These guys haven't.
You're right. They haven't done anything. Haven't played together. Right.
Don't
put anything up again.
Together they have won nothing. And together they have not shown up in an AFC championship game or a divisional game or anything like that. When they start doing that, then we can have that conversation. But I am not insulting Sertan and Madison with these two guys at this point in time. Not doing that. We're too quick in this society to start labeling and finding the next this that reminds us of our other great ones. I'm not insulting Sertan and Madison.
Just ask Tyler Hero about that, right?
Yeah. I'm just not doing that. Not doing that. Not doing it. Not doing it. Reminds me of Dana Carey doing George Bush. Not doing it.
No, that was Ross Perot.
No, but he was doing Bush, right? Wasn't it Bush?
He did Bush, but he also did Ross Perot.
No, I know. Armed Date, problem is you haven't seen a competent regime in 25 years in Miami. You don't know what one looks like. Oh, I guess he must be talking to somebody. Miami Kid says, Jay, the Byron Jones kid is a bust, Big O. I live in Dallas and watch the Cowboys. He's average at best. Dolphins reached and overpaid here. Okay, he's only one of the best cover corners. I get it. You only measure by interceptions. Jones benefited from the Cowboys' D-line pressure. Okay. I guess the Dolphins will also have D-line pressure too now. We also get Tankersley back, young, talented corner, just needs coaching. Nah, Manuel, I'm not going with that. Cordrea Tankersley is a bust until proven otherwise. Okay? Let's call it like we see it. We don't Manuel, go call Intercom, go watch those. No, you can't watch. They don't do that. Go listen to their shows. You know, they won't call it like we see. We will. Okay? Cordrea Tankersley is a bust. All right? A flat-out bust until proven otherwise. He sucked until the injury. Now let's see what happens. Maybe he figures it out, I don't know, or maybe he continues to suck. But for now, he's a flat-out bust. He's a waste. Okay? Big O, would you give up a fifth for Cam? No, I wouldn't give up anything for Cam Newton. I don't want Cam Newton. All right? I don't want an athlete playing quarterback. I don't want that style of football here. I want a real quarterback. I want a guy that can beat you with his arm. You understand that? Cam Newton does not beat you with his arm. He beats you with his legs. He can't sit there in the pocket and pick you apart. Not a fan of those kind of guys. I wonder if Byron picks up some skills from X. I think you are what you are, my man. You know what I mean? I don't think he becomes the guy that gets 7 interceptions a year now. I think he's going to end up with 1 or 2 a year, if anything. That's it. Big O, are the Dolphins trading X? I don't think so. I don't think you can get his value right now in return. So you wait a year. You hope he keeps his nose clean. He comes back from the injury. He kicks ass. And next offseason, when the cap hit might be a little less, I got to look it up, then I think you make that move. Okay? If you want to make that move. if he's playing really, really well and you're on track and all that stuff, you stick with him. But I don't think you trade him now because you won't get his real value is the problem.
What about this injury situation with him now?
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Everybody knows about it. That's why you need a year of him playing well to say, okay, yeah, it's just a scope and he's fine. Here's a little more insight. This year, in 2020, they would take a dead cap hit of $17.5 million. Okay? Are you ready? Next year, you trade him, the cap hit's $4.2 million. You see why I'm telling you? Okay? So next year is the year you trade him, not this year. Next year, you get the value for him, you raise his value back up, his stock back up, and you take a small cap hit, and you move on. All right? That's what you do. Let's see, what else do we got here? They call him Hands of Stones here in Dallas. He doesn't get beat on 80% of the plays. That's where you're full of crap. So
people do realize that if cornerbacks can catch, they play wide receiver.
Anyway, this is a clown talking about Dallas, and he's called Miami Kid. So, I mean, give me a break, bro. You don't watch the game. If you watch the game, you would know he's a hell of a corner. The problem is he doesn't get a lot of interceptions, but he defends plenty of passes. You're not burning him for 100 yards a game or anything. Andy Raphael says, would love to see one more experienced O-line and draft Wirfs in the first. I would love Wirfs. That would be my guy in the number 5 overall. Matt Cole, he doesn't get beat on 80% of plays. Don't be mad on your Cowboys or looking like fools for overpaying. So I'm not – why even bother? Big O, any nose tackles in free agency for the draft would you target at this point? Just a Brown kid at number 5. At 18, I don't think you're going to get that guy. Raul Aguilera, hey, Big O, finally the Dolphins or Chris Greer, I feel there's a sense of direction. There's been a sense of direction since he took over. And then Man of 1,005 Holes says, I just hope X stays healthy. Hey, we all do, man. We all want him to stay healthy in a big-time way. All right, don't forget, folks, to give us the thumbs up while you're watching. Grab the YouTube link and send it to a friend of yours on the text. Post it on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, all that. Tell people that we give them 4 hours of real sports talk every single day. The stuff you can't get anywhere else locally, okay? And obviously focused on a lot of the local teams. We talk about the national issues too, obviously, but we talk a lot about the local teams here. Because, hey, I'm a local guy, as it is. And come on by. We're out here for a couple more hours at 12397 Pembroke Road. At 1 o'clock, Manny Navarro is going to join us. We're going to have our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. Is he coming live? Is Manny going to come by live?
I'll find out for you.
Yeah, find out if Manny's going to come by live because he lives close by. So I don't know if I know he's doing nothing. He's home.
I know what'll sell him.
Yeah.
Junior's Hamburger.
Oh, that's right. Junior's going to be out here. Yeah, it should. We're gonna have a food truck out here, Junior's Hamburgers. They are amazing. And if you want to enjoy a burger,
I know firsthand they've won several awards. They are, Miami Springs, Westward Drive.
Jose, what time's Junior's here? It's here already? Oh, they got here already. Junior's Hamburger is here. Bing. They're in the back? Or in the front? Oh, he's in the front there. And we're here at 12397 Pembroke Road. And towards the end, we'll show you some, what's this, the menu? Oh, the Big Daddy. Third patty, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, pickles, and the pink sauce. What is this? The Burger and the Beast. A third patty, grilled onions, American cheese, and the pink sauce. The Valley, a third patty, goat cheese, watercress, agave, lime sauce. And outside in, it's half pound patty stuffed with bacon and cheddar, lettuce and tomatoes. That's inside the meat. All of that. Outside in is a half pound patty stuffed with bacon, cheddar, lettuce, and tomatoes. that guy's burger, a third patty, 2 slices of bread guava, cream cheese wrapped in bacon. Holy crap. They got fries, got the mac balls, got some sodas. They got the St. Patty's Melt, which is a third patty, homemade Thousand Island, grilled onions, Swiss cheese, tangy slaw, and rye bread. How about that? That's the menu today here, so come on by. Oh, and by the way, these are stressful times, okay? And one of the things that you can do here at VSS West Pines is they've got all your CBD products. So if you're dealing with stress and anxiety, which we all are, right? Whether you go shopping or you're fighting for toilet paper, stress and anxiety. I mean, it's really nuts. You're going to one place where there's no meat whatsoever, and then you got to go to another supermarket to see if they've got meat there. You're like the Wendy's old lady. Where's the beef? Where's the beef? That kind of stuff. So here at VSS West Pines, if you're not good at rolling, you can buy them pre-rolled, and you can smoke your CBD stress away, your anxiety. This is not weed. This is not marijuana. This is not illegal. This is all medicinal, okay? Yes. So they've got them there. They've got them in flour. So if you're good at rolling yourself, they've got the rolling machines here. They've got all kinds of different papers here. But the CBD products are great for you, your dogs, your cats. If they get all crazy, with lightning and thunder, or whenever we have fireworks again, that kind of stuff, and they get all, crazy, they've got CBD products that will help their anxiety, okay? So for anxiety, for stress, maybe you want to sleep better. And right now, maybe you're not sleeping well because you've got a lot of issues you're worried about with the coronavirus. Come on out here, man. 12397 Pembroke Road. And one of the things you're going to love about these guys is that they're incredibly educational. And they will actually teach you about these CBD products. And again, 100% legal. No illegal here, okay? It's CBD, not marijuana, okay? All right.
Sure looks like it.
It looks like it, but it's not, all right? 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. Now, we've been talking about the Dolphins, right? In fact, you know what? Let me take a break because I've gone 39 minutes here now. I am over this second hour here. Actually, no, we started at 10:30, didn't we?
Oh, we started at 10:30, yes, sir,
yes.
And we're cruising past 2, so
yeah.
Save the voice.
Yes, let's take a quick break here, a couple minutes, just 2-minute break. We'll come right back. I got to tell you why the Dolphins are going to continue to take a stranglehold of this division, and it's right in front of us. That's next.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, we're back. Oh, yes, we're back at VSS West Pines. And remember, you can get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, which is 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show, yes.
No Manny. At home playing Mr. Mom. Kids out of school.
All right, so we on phone?
Phone and calling.
All right, you got it. So we'll have them on at 1 o'clock. So we'll talk to Manny then. Again, lots of things to talk about.
I did inform him about Junior's being out here. He was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, man."
Oh, yeah.
Get in the car and come by. Do it like a drive-through.
You can bring the kid. You know, just pull up to the truck.
He did say that they've been home since Friday. Like they're, doing what you're supposed to.
Yeah, but
it's about staying home.
Yeah, he can't bring the kid in here anyway. So, smart thing to do is stay away for now. All right, so let me give you. I'm watching all this free agent stuff, right? And I love what the Dolphins are doing, and I think it makes a lot of sense what they're doing overall. The only one that I have a little bit of a question mark, and is Eric Flowers. Eric has got to prove to me, some consistency. That's the only one, but it's not this major contract that's crippling. It's not like an Ndamukong Suh contract. Okay?
If he's able to repeat the performance that he had last year.
Yeah.
I would then love it's great.
I would love it.
So he just got to keep doing what he's been doing.
Right. So Bills yesterday, and this is why I feel like the Dolphins are the team on the rise in this division. Okay, the Jets already have Adam Gase, so you've already got an inside track there because that guy's a moron. And he doesn't get along with players and all of that. They're a disaster, and the Johnsons own the Jets, so they're a joke. They're not going to go anywhere. But the Bills are the team that did win, double-digit games, and they're the ones that, they got a pretty good defense, obviously. The Bills yesterday traded for Stephon Diggs. Now, hey, God bless Rick Spielman. I mean, he's pretty stupid when it comes to his quarterbacks, obviously, because he extended Kirk Cousins, who's just a jag. But he ends up getting a first-rounder, a fifth-rounder, a sixth-rounder, and a 2021 fourth-round pick. Of course you're going to trade Stephon Diggs. Are you kidding me? So then they get Diggs and a seventh-round pick in 2020. This is one of the dumbest deals on the planet. First of all, let me explain a couple things to you. I love Stephon Diggs, the player, okay? That's a guy they drafted, I believe, in the fifth round, fourth round, and look what they've turned it into. So Rick Spielman did a great job there. I mean, he just bamboozled Buffalo. Buffalo gives up all these picks, and this is a guy that's injury-prone. Stephon's missed a lot of time. He's a heck of a player. Now, if he was frustrated with Kirk Cousins, what's it going to be like with Josh Allen, who has no accuracy? I'm just wondering. Does Stephon Diggs know what he just put himself in? Because it ain't going to be a lot of fun there in Buffalo. And, again, you added a guy who's a heck of a player but won't be himself because you've got the wrong quarterback. Okay? You gave up all these picks. I believe I think he's under contract. Now, I don't know if you're going to have to pay him. I don't know if he's going to want more money down the line, if he's going to demand a restructured deal, because I think, if I'm correct, he's under contract for several years. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's under contract. Oh, yeah. He's making around $12 million. That's his cap hit. His salary is 10-9 this year, 11-4, 11-4, and 11-4. Okay? Cap hit is at 12. So you're talking about a guy that's going to make decent money, okay? You're not overpaying immensely. But I don't know if you're going to maximize his talent because of your quarterback. This guy's inaccurate as hell. And that, to me, hey, look, it makes me happy. Because as a Dolphin fan, if you're going to have this kind of stupidity in this division, I mean, Gase and the Jets already show you incredible stupidity. I'm not worried about them. And Sam Darnold is a turnover machine as it is. So I'm good. I don't worry about the Jets. The Bills are the team that, hey, what can they do? Even though I don't really have a lot of respect for Josh Allen, I don't think he's ever going to beat anybody with his arm. But I see deals like this, and you're going to give away 4 draft picks and let me tell you something. This is the deepest wide receiver draft in 10, 15 years. So in a year where you can get receivers in the first or second and even third rounds, you're going to trade for Stephon Diggs? How does that make any sense?
And remember how he got frustrated in the playoff game? They're winning the game, and he's getting pissed off at Cousins.
Well,
remember?
Yeah, because he doesn't have stats.
Imagine how he's going to be with this situation.
Well, when Josh Allen starts sailing balls over his head by 4 feet, or when he throws them a little too high that he's got to reach for him and they crack him in half, the Tannehill type throws, those kind of throws, you'll see. I mean, but again, these are the things that I'm watching. I'm watching Brady leave Belichick. I'm watching the Patriots now. They're going to take a couple steps back now. I'm watching the Bills do stupid-ass moves. And the Jets are the Jets, and they've got Adam Gase. And I'm watching my beloved Dolphins go out there and improve on a consistent basis. Now Emmanuel Ogbah was signed, the defensive end, to a 2-year, $15 million deal. 7.5 of it is guaranteed. So now, listen to this. You're talking about a guy that played 10 games last year. He missed the final 6 and the playoff run for the Chiefs. In 10 games, he had 32 tackles and 5.5 sacks. So you get, and he's coming back, I think it's a pectoral muscle, I want to say. Yes, he tore his pectoral muscle. He had 32 tackles and 5.5 sacks, and he only played 10 games. So you add 6 more games, probably ends up in the 8 range, 9 range of sacks. So now you added another rotational defensive end on your team. You didn't spend a lot of money either on it. And 2-year contract. You're in and out of it. Okay, how old is Ogbah? Let me give you the age here, just so you guys will know. Ogbah will be 26 this year in this contract. So if he plays well, you can then re-sign him. So you invested in another free agent that is in the middle 20s. Man, did I nail this or what? Did I nail it?
Dude, I don't think you could have walked up to the dartboard and put it in the center with your hand. Any better, man.
I don't know how many.
Dead center.
For months now, how many times did I repeat to you guys what kind of free agents they were really targeting?
Nobody old.
Told you guys from the get-go what they were targeting. And they keep targeting those kind of guys because you can build on those guys. You know what I mean? They're actually, when Calvin was saying, I thought they were rebuilding. Well, they are, but they're not adding old farts. They're adding guys that still are in their prime and that they can actually grow with them over the next couple of years. And remember, you're loaded with picks already this year, and you're loaded with picks next year. They don't,
which keeps you cap friendly.
Yeah.
All those rookie contracts, man. Right. Oh my God.
Because you won't have to pay those rookies until all these contracts expire. See? All these guys will be gone when you have to pay the rookies.
That's a slam to Buffalo. All them 4 guys, those are all guys that you get the money.
Yeah. And the Dolphins are acquiring draft picks so they don't have to pay guys down the line for a while. That's why they traded Tunsil also. The load was so much that they couldn't turn it down. And on the flip side, they were like, well, we don't have to pay him that enormous salary right now. We could go draft our own tackle at number 5, and we don't have to pay him now for 5 years. They're actually using the cap to their favor. They're working the cap the right way because now all these young guys that they draft, they won't have to pay for years. And then the huge group of draft picks that they have next year, another 4 or 5 years on top of that. So now you built up a short foundation here to kind of set it up. You have the youth movement coming in from the drafts the next 2 years, which will then elevate you, and now you have 2 sets of players. The one set that help you establish everything, Kyle Van Noy, Lawson, all these guys. And Lawson's 25. He definitely could see a second contract. Well, Byron Jones is here to kind of establish it, and then a year or 2 from now, you're drafting a guy that you hope that'll replace him 2 more years down the line. All these there's foresight in the way they're doing things and the way they're structuring it. It allows them to build the team in waves. Okay, you established what I told you at the beginning of the show with the young guys that you already have. You add these veterans, and then you add the next wave of draft picks that you hope, all of us, that they draft really well this year and next year, because that will be your future foundation. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I can't tell you enough about, well, listen, those of you that have followed this show for many years, you know how much I killed the Dolphins. Because most of the time, the stuff that I'm talking about, I would point out how it didn't make sense. Okay? How Mike Wallace or whatever, Ndamukong Suh or Josh Sitton, or I could go on and on and on and on.
Mike Wallace.
I just said that. Wallace, all these kind of guys that I constantly pointed out why they made no sense of where the Dolphins were and why this does. This all makes sense.
Your rookies get to their last year on their contract, right?
Right.
So all our number ones in 3 years we're looking to redo. And also the second round picks are on a 4 year, so they're on their third. So we got to re-sign 5 of those guys, our first 3 and our 2 twos.
Right.
How does that sound?
I mean, and the cap will grow by then too, which will also help you. Nico says, "What's up, boys? Who's laughing at the Finns BS tank talk?" Oh yeah, remember that? Yeah, we were on target with that too. Were we talking about tanking? No, we explained to everybody they're building with youth. They're not trying to tank. They're trying to build with youth, and now people are finally getting it. Let's see, what else do we got? Flowers at guard is decent. He will be motivated, but he must play next to a good center and a Pro Bowl tackle. Well, they should have that tackle in this draft. Liam Garcia, hey, Big O, just got into town. What's happening, not with COVID-19, with the Dolphins? Liam, we have talked a lot of Dolphins. You're going to have to go back to the podcast, or if you're on YouTube, you can rewind, right? I guess you should be able to rewind and listen. But I talked a lot about the Dolphin moves.
When we're live, YouTube gets a little silly sometimes with that, trying to go back. You know, it fights you, but you might be able to. But it's podcasted.
Yeah, it's all podcasted too, so you can find it all at Big O Radio Show on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud, Big O Radio Show. Please download and subscribe. Bromar Smelly says Big O would make a really good GM. No, I wouldn't. What I can do is find the person to run the team. I did that last year. I said fire Tannenbaum, fire Gase, and put Greer in place. And I know it rhymes. I get it. I wasn't trying to rhyme because I'm not a rapper. But, hey, that one worked. And they listened to me. So there you go. That's as far as it goes. I'm done. Okay? I did my job.
Did you get a cut?
I should.
Did you get a cut?
I should. If the Dolphins win with Chris Greer in place, I don't know, Stephen Ross should be giving me a pair of suite tickets for life. Okay? Because I am the only one, all right? I can't eat till after the show.
I'm going to tell you what I want to do.
I can't eat now.
I can't wait to hear what your prognostication is on W's, and I'm just going to add 5.
No, but I can't. We got to wait for the draft. Got to wait for everything to happen, and then
I know. I can't wait for you to throw that magic number because I'm adding 5 to it, man.
Yeah. And you know, the people that just tuned in, like, here we go, like this guy, where is it? Cheyenne Moore, you're a permanent listener. You said Van Noy is old, right? I'm going to give you a break, Cheyenne, because you're a loyal viewer and listener. You're on all the time. Let me explain to you why the Dolphins are really smart. Van Noy will be 29 this year in 2020. And he'll be 30 in 2021, right? You and I can do that math, right? We can figure it out. 29 and 30 is not old. Correct? It's a 4-year deal. They can get out after the second year. Okay? It's really a 2-year, $27.5 million deal, and they get $6 million of dead cap money after that. And they can get out. Now, if he's really productive in year 2, what they'll do is keep him for that 3rd year and then let him go after that. And if he's really productive in that 3rd year, then they'll bring him back for the 4th year. But it's a 2-year deal, which they can easily – plenty of linebackers are playing in their 30, 31, 32. There are guys that are still pretty productive at that age. So Kyle Van Noy can be really productive at 29 or 30. Now, I'm just trying to educate you guys out there so you don't go with the lazy thing of, oh, he's too old. It's a 4-year deal. They don't have to keep him around for 4 years. And at 29 and 30, the first 2 years of the deal, he's more than fine. He can play at a really high level at that age. So let's not make it sound like he's done. So I hope that educated you. Let's see, what else do we have here? 72 Fins logo saying good show today, Big O. Thank you, sir. Love God, love people says, good day, Big O. Eric Flowers had a good year at left guard. It's at left tackle where he sucks. He gave up 2 sacks at left guard. He will be good at left guard, get a solid left tackle in the draft. Listen, I've said this already a couple times. I need to see one more year of him to believe it. I don't believe people on 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year. What is it that I say all the time on our show for many, many years? Any professional, and I'm talking about baseball player, basketball player, hockey player, football player, soccer player. Anybody could have a good week, a good month, a good year. You're a professional. You're an athlete. You have talent. That's why you're in the league, whatever league it is. They saw something in you. So anybody can do that. I need to see you do it that second year. That's when I'm convinced that you are that guy, because I've watched. So Eric Flowers, that's the only signing out of all of them that I'm like, lukewarm. Okay, it doesn't do really much for me. I need to see more. And you're right, he sucked at tackle, and he was terrific last year at guard. Let's see if he can do it again so I can feel good about Eric Flowers. That's all I'm saying. I love what they've done so far. So to me, the Eric Flowers thing, whether it works or it doesn't, I don't care at this point. I loved all the signings. But if Eric Flowers works, wow, that's going to be a home run. Jose Gonzalez says, Pasapoga. Okay. I don't know why you're saying Pasapoga, but thank you very much. GPP Central says, I'm not trusting and not falling for the trap. Okay. All right. Wayne Collard says, what's up, Big O? Listening from the UK, fins up. Yeah, baby. Fins up, thumbs up. Give us the thumbs up. Give us the likes.
Hope y'all are safe over there, man.
Yes.
Europe's taking a hit.
Everybody's taking it. The world is taking a hit, man. The world.
No, I'm just saying their cases over there, man.
I know,
God.
I know. Tunsil and Minka were as young as you get, and we got rid of them. I think they were just looking for killers, and they weren't it. Nah, dude, I don't think that's what No, the Tunsil trade was too good to pass up. Minka was an asshole. Can we just stop already? Can we stop pussyfooting around? Minka is a jerkball. Minka is a punk ass. That's all it is. Minka Fitzpatrick is a punk ass. And I don't want him on this team. I don't care how good he is. Okay? Mr., I can do it all. And then when they needed him to do it all, he said no. And then he goes to Pittsburgh because they played him at one position. But then his stats declined in the second half of his season with Pittsburgh. So at the end of the season, you know what he says? I think it's better if I roam around and play different positions so the offense doesn't know where I'm going to be all the time. Also, now he wants to be the Swiss Army knife. Bro, I'm so tired of Minka Fitzpatrick. Screw him. Okay? Screw him. You don't want to be a Dolphin? Get out of here, bro. I don't care what you're going to be.
He just wasn't up to the challenge, man.
That's it. You don't want to be a team player? Screw you, bro. Bobby McCain was a team player. Playing corner, went to safety. Jesse Davis has played 4,000 positions. Not complaining, not bitching. Let's get by. Let's do it. Other guys moved around too. They weren't the only ones. All right, I watched Mark Dixon years ago play guard at a high level, and Richmond Webb leaves to Cincinnati, and they need him in a pinch to play left tackle that year. He hated it. He couldn't stand playing left tackle. Did he ever bitch and complain about it? Never. Because it's about the team, not about your stinking name on the back of the jersey. It's about the damn logo you got on.
We had Dieter. Dieter did that. Dieter moved around last year.
Dieter played tackle when he had to.
He had never played tackle, and he's doing it at Dallas.
Listen, you gotta be a team player. Minka Fitzpatrick didn't want to be a team player. Screw him. Okay, that's it. I'm not crying over Minka. I for some of you out there, bro, stop living in the past. Let it go. These are our guys now. These are the guys you want to root for. These are the guys that want to play for your Dolphins. They want to wear the aqua and orange. That's what I want to root for. I want to root for the Jim Jensens of the world. And I want to root for the Jesse Davises of the world. And I want to root for the Bobby McCains of the world. I want to root for the guys that are going to sacrifice for their team. I want to root for Ryan Fitzpatrick because he sells out. If he has to throw the ball, if he has to run the ball, he doesn't give a rat's ass. Those are the kind of people I want on this football team. That's how Shula used to win. Because everybody did what they had to do, whatever Shula wanted. Jimmy Johnson, he had Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas playing special teams their first couple of years. And they were studs, and they're playing special teams. Not the ideal situation, but Jimmy had to put his best players on special teams. Those guys bitch? No. That's what I want on my football team. I want guys that want to play and want to do. If the coach says, this scheme is what works this week, I need you to do this, do it, damn it. How many of you at work do something for your boss that maybe you're not comfortable with, but you got to be a team player? Minka Fitzpatrick didn't want to be a team player. Screw him. Okay?
So dress warm.
Yeah. Go have your little Iron City beer and shut the hell up. Sneak Attack 305. I live next to Pasapoga steak sandwiches. They are good. You mean right there off Miller Drive? Is that the one you're talking about, Sneak Attack? Winning in the NFL is – oh, no, it's Sunset, actually. Winning in the NFL is very delicate balance act. You must have several players outplaying their contracts, and those big money towards the cap must be fewer and must be very impactful players. Amen? Let's see, what else do we have here? Big O is the new Jay-Z. Yes, my rapping is no rapper can rap quite like I can. I'll take a muscle-bound man and put his face in the sand. All right, GPP Central says our quarterback is Rosen. He sat out a year and ready to take off. Trust in Rosen. You don't even believe that, while you did you type that with a serious face? Were you laughing your ass off when you typed that there, GPP Central?
If it does work, though, okay? If we do hit on Rosen.
It would be nice.
Because then whoever we draft now, let him, and we can trade him away and get a one back for him, right?
Would be nice. Dwayne Hadley says, what's up, Big O? Matt Cole says, got to restructure Wilson. No, cut his ass. Draft another receiver and cut Albert Wilson, bro. Are you kidding me? Restructure? Get rid of his ass. He's injury-prone and small. No. Go get a big receiver. You know how loaded this draft is with receivers? Go get a young guy to build on. Get rid of this guy. You get a cheap guy. Lou Aguila says, Big O, I love how we upgraded every level of our defense. I'd like to see another O-line signing also. I think you're going to see it in the draft. A lot of O-line. Let's see. More don't know, but 8.5 sacks is decent for a rotational player. Yeah, it's definitely. They got a nice rotation of defensive ends. What they don't have is that nasty, that Jason Taylor defensive end, that whatever, the elite defensive end. They don't have
the destroyer,
that.
The one that blows up your pass blocking scheme.
But then again, those guys don't become available. I mean,
no. If you get one, you hold. You don't do like the Raiders and go, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you don't let Khalil Mack go. Yes,
you see what the Rams are doing with Donaldson?
Oh, no, God, Khalil Mack is so awesome. Let's see, what else do Jose Gonzalez says, I believe he graded out 96 at guard. No, he graded out really well at guard. But it's only 1 year, man. I'm not a 1 year guy. And I'm super consistent with that. If you've noticed that I've done it all the time with others. Oh, yeah.
So we could space it right and get Manny ready at 1 and have a decent little segment to close out this hour number 2.
Yes. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Let me tell you about Toyota of Hollywood. They are at 1841 North State Road 7, just a couple blocks south of that big, giant, beautiful guitar right off the turnpike. Right there on 441, folks. They've got over 1,500 cars and trucks. If you're looking to buy or lease, no better place to go. Toyota, listen, they are the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States now. 6 years in a row. They're open till midnight. Get on down there, whether you're looking for a Camry like mine, the XSE, which I got it parked right back there. It's a beautiful vehicle, man. It is so comfortable to drive. I love it, man. 1841 North State Road 7. It's Toyota of Hollywood.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometo-rockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometo-rockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show.
All righty, welcome back. We got Manny Navarro at the top of the hour at 1 o'clock. Kevin Sheehan is going to join us at 1:30. Kevin covers the Redskins, so we're gonna talk a little bit about Eric Flowers with him. Mark Lillibridge is going to join us, the former player, scout, agent, contract negotiator. He's done everything in football, and he does Bridges focus like on Twitter. He posts a lot of breakdowns, and he did some breakdowns on Shaq Lawson and Kyle Van Noy, and they're there. Bridges Football. You can go to that on Twitter and you can check it out. I retweeted them there on mine at Big O Show on Twitter, so you can find them there a lot easier at Big O Show if you want to check it out. But we're going to have Lillibridge on. He obviously played the game and played it in the NFL, so he knows a little something. So we'll get his thoughts on both editions for the overall. We'll talk about all the players, but those guys, he specifically broke them down, and this was before Miami picked them up. He was talking about them, so you want to definitely check out those breakdowns with those guys. All right, if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because that's definitely a 24-hour talk show there on Twitter. Just before I continue with sports, did you hear about Guns N' Roses rescheduling their tour? Now
already, they didn't wait.
They didn't wait. So they canceled their tour, and let's see. Oh, they brought us some burgers. Oh, what do you have there, bro? Oh, that's yours? Okay. Well, we got to show off the burgers. You should show off the burgers. Show off the burgers here on the camera so people can see them, so they can come here and if they want to get a delicious freaking burger, okay? There's the Valley. This is the Valley burger right there. There you go. Okay? Telling you, man, their burgers are awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So come on out here and try Junior's Burgers, man. They are amazing. So, for those of you that, you like to rock out a little bit like I do, I bring this up, Bill, because Guns N' Roses, right, they had to reschedule all their dates, Mexico City, all of that. And so now they've got it all rescheduled in Colombia, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Guatemala City, San Jose, Costa Rica, Mexico, right? But they're going to start off this leg of this tour November 8th in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Dude, you know how cool it would be to go to the Dominican Republic in November and watch Guns N' Roses?
It's not hurricane season, so you could go.
I love it, bro. You know what? If I'm hoping we're, corona-free in a few months, and we can then get our lives back to normal again. Man, I got to go to the Dominican Republic to go see Guns N' Roses.
I tell you what, I hope David Crosby is able to do it as easily as Guns N' Roses did and get on the schedule.
No,
Hearing that yesterday, man, that's just heartbreaking.
That's going to be hard. That's going to be hard because they don't get the kind of production money-wise that Guns N' Roses does. Guns N' Roses, where are they playing in the Dominican Republic? Does anybody know out there that lives in the DR or knows the DR well? What stadium is?
If I had to guess, it's a baseball stadium.
I guess it has to be a baseball stadium that they must have
or a
there.
boxing ring, an arena for boxing.
It can't be that big there. They can't have a big arena in that place. There's no way they've got like a 20,000 seater there. They can't, bro. You nailed it. It has to be.
It has to be a baseball.
Has to be a baseball stadium. Or a soccer stadium. Well, no, Dominicans aren't really big in soccer, so it's got to be baseball. I don't know. Help me out there. Whoever lived in the DR, knows the DR very well. Where the hell are they playing that concert? So, there you go. Anyway. All right. Big O killing us with this food. Well, hey, King Short, come on down, bro. You can order your own burger. Everybody's getting a burger.
I was going to say, it isn't like you can't come down and get one. It's right outside.
Why aren't you getting one yet? Shocked you haven't gotten one.
I am getting a half-pound burger. I ain't playing with that little one-thirder.
Okay.
You know me, man.
Let's see. Bro Smelly says, burgers from a place that sells bongs and weed. No weed. We're not selling any weed. It's CBD, bro. CBD, and these water pipes are for the CBD products. Just because you're doing something illegal, that's just, it's good for you. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105. The Bears signed Jimmy Graham to a 2-year, $16 million deal. 9 is guaranteed.
Failure.
The Ravens sign defensive lineman Michael Brockers, 3-year, $30 million, 21 guaranteed. Loading up on that D-line, dude. Giants, this is a really good signing. They got James Bradbury. I loved that kid when I saw him at the Senior Bowl years ago. 3 years, $45 million, 32 of it guaranteed. If you're a Giants fan, that was a nice pickup for your Giants. The Browns signed Jack Conklin to a 3-year, $42 million deal, 30 of it guaranteed. The Saints ended up agreeing to a deal with Drew Brees, 2 years, $50 million. And Derrick Henry gets tagged. And when we look at that part for Tennessee, I'm just thinking about this. Okay, let me just mention this for the moment. Is there any part of Derrick Henry that's pissed off right now? Because running backs are not respected. Whatever the tag is, it's probably not worth the money that he really deserves, right? It's not going to really match the money and the signing bonus and all of that. They can control him this way for a couple of years if they want to. But the only reason Ryan had any success, or the kind of success he had, was because he rode Derrick Henry's coattails. And so that's where I would look at it. I would say, wait a minute, dude. Okay, so if I'm Derrick Henry, I am the offense. And you're going to pay that guy $30 million, and you're going to tag me and not give me my guarantees? I can't imagine that this is a comfortable situation right now with the Titans and Derrick Henry. Maybe at the moment he's a little calm, cool, and collected because he's giving it a chance to develop, and maybe you come up with a contract. By the way, can you imagine if Derrick Henry was actually good at catching the ball as a receiver? Because he's like adequate, but he's not really great at it. Can you imagine if he was actually a great two-way player, that he actually was a really good receiver out of the backfield? Now, he's so big and bulky, that's probably why it stops him from being that guy. But he is a beast. But there's got to be a part of Derrick Henry that says, hey, I need my money, bro. I'm the straw that stirs this drink, not Ryan Tannehill. Okay? That contract, he owes it to me. Because he does. No defensive coordinator saying, okay, how do we stop Ryan Tannehill this week? No one says that. Okay? Nobody. When you're preparing for the Titans, you're going, how do we stop Derrick Henry? Because if we stop Derrick Henry, we stop them. I mean, if I'm Derrick Henry, I'm like, we're winning playoff games with our quarterback throwing 70 yards. Why? Because I'm running for 200. I mean, come on. I saw that, and it's now Henry. By the way, I know he got tagged, so eventually he'll get the money. But he just bought a chain for $85,000 to honor his hero, Kobe Bryant. Henry, who grew up a big fan of the Mamba, he hit up Zoe Frost, which apparently is this jeweler. And the jeweler worked with NFL stars like Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, and Earl Thomas this past year. And he created a sick piece for the Tennessee running back. The chain and pendant features a mamba snake wrapped around Kobe's famous logo, and we're told it holds approximately 35 carats of diamonds. Okay? The bling weighs 120 grams. All told, $85,000. And if you want to see it, there it is. $85,000 for that. All right, what can I tell you? He can run the ball. Doesn't necessarily have great taste in jewelry, but he can run the ball. Myron Sanchez says, I miss Kobe. GG. GPP Central says, Simmons with the 5th pick. I don't think it'll be Simmons. If you see what they did in free agency, they're not adding another linebacker. That doesn't make sense. So I like Simmons. I like other players instead of Simmons at 5. I can't tell you that he's a bad pick or anything like that. But I've kind of told you guys where I'm at. I'm more about the tackle right now. So I would imagine that they'll either take Tua if he drops to 5, or they're going to take a tackle at 5, whichever one they like. Becton, Wirfs, whatever. I don't care. They're going to take one of those top tackles there. That we're all going back and forth on which one you like the most. You know what I'm saying? We got a little modern English in the background. Little Melt With You. Can you guys hear that Melt With You in the background? I wonder. Does the mic pick up a little bit of the... It's got to pick up the music somehow, but I don't know if you can decipher it in the background and know what it is. Okay? Go Gators says, get Derek Brown. That won't be a bad pick either, man. I can't say, oh, my God, Derek Brown is a terrible pick. No, that guy would blow it up. Okay? Maybe Tannehill should pick up the tab for that chain, Big O. Oh, hell yeah, Miami kid. Hells yeah, he should. Tannehill should say, hey, I got that for you. And whips out the Black American Express. Because I would imagine that by now, Tannehill's got that Black American Express. He's got them bucks, dude. You know, speaking of bucks, Kirk Cousins, right? He got that 3-year, $96 million extension. Do you know that in the last 7 years, Kirk Cousins has made $194 million? $194 million.
That's so stupid.
Okay.
For what? One playoff win, right? Is that it? Right?
He's a nice little quarterback, but he's just a guy.
You know something, though?
He hasn't. He always proves that he's not the difference maker. You know. But
Alex Smith and Kirk Cousins have put these salaries than golf and they're spiraling out of control, bro.
But that's how it is. That's the market. It's the market. It's not that any of them are. It's not that any of them are worth it. So King Short says no musical, so you can't hear it. That's interesting how it doesn't pick it up.
They got
Liam
a heck
Garcia
of a station on, whatever. They're serious, and too bad for you guys.
Yeah, Liam Garcia says modern English, awesome. How about Joy Division, Big O? Love Joy Division. But I don't have control. I'm just saying I'm just wondering if you guys can hear the music we hear in the background. And I know these are directional mics, so that's why I kind of figure that you maybe hear a little bit in the background, but you can't really pick up on it.
Coldplay now.
All right. Hey, man, listen, I mean, for those guys at that moment, $95K for him is like, $5 for you and me is what it is. So I get it, Arm Dave says Spielman is a great GM, but his blind spot is quarterback. Yeah, his blind spot has been quarterback for a while now. Because you think about it, they freed up $10 million in order to lock him up for 2 more years. It's like, wow, really? That's odd. Bones C says, Big O, you were right about Flores and Greer. No, I mean, not yet. Not yet. Give it some time. You know what I mean? I mean, I love the hires, and I've been a believer in Greer from the get-go. And I've told you that he wasn't the problem for many, many years, but give it a little more time. It's not even fair to say that right now, that I'm right. Got to wait another year or two, and then I think people will say, okay, you're wrong, oh, you're an idiot. Or, hey, oh, you got it right for once in your life. So, it'll happen, but, we'll see. We need him to succeed, by the way. That's the one thing that for all of us as Dolphin fans, whoever took over, okay, not because I called for Greer to take over and he took over and all that, but I think we're tired of changes. We're tired of turnover. We want the same coach. We want the same GM in place for a while now. Let's get some success in here. Let's have some fun. Let's win. You know what I'm saying? And it's coming. It's coming. That's what I'm looking forward to. That it is going to get here. It's a beautiful thing. Today at 4 o'clock, I'll be at Moody's Dental getting the latest update with my Invisaligns as I'm straightening out my teeth. And I've been telling you about the Invisaligns for a while. Listen, I want you to call Eric and all the great folks at Moody's Dental, 305-821-0231, whether it's implants, whether you want Invisaligns to straighten out your teeth, cavities, clean your teeth, a crown, all of that. Like I told you, state-of-the-art equipment. In fact, you know how for a crown you got to go get it fitted, and then you come back a couple weeks later and they put on the crown? Right there and then, whether it's an implant or a crown, they get the measurements, the digital measurements, and they create the tooth right there and then. Right there and then. No second trip, not another day you have to take out of work, not another day you have to visit the dentist. No, they do it all in one trip because they want to save you time and save you money and save you effort, and so you don't miss work and lose money. So call Moody's Dental, man, 305-821-0231. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you. Tell Eric that, the Big O Show is where you heard it. 305-821-0231 for Moody'sDental.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million, whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcomeToRockvilleFestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcomeToRockvilleFestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, we are back. We are ready to rock and roll. It's time now for our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. Every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, Manny Navarro from The Athletic joins us for our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report, brought to you by Canes Wear.
It's all about the you.
2511 South University Drive in Davie, of course, and you can go get all of your Canes gear there. They got Dolphins with free agency going on, Marlins, Panthers, Heat, and, of course, Inter Miami, too. Once we get over this corona, the season will continue, and we'll have some fun with Inter Miami. But, of course, you can follow Manny on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Canes Wear, it's Canes_Wear on Twitter. Manny, how you doing, my friend? How is babysitting right now?
Well, I got an 8-year-old, soon to be 9-year-old, and a 4-year-old here. Have no school, and so they think it's spring break, that it's time to party, and I'm trying to get the message across to them that hey, we may be here a long time, and you're gonna have to start doing homework and do some learning. And so I'm trying to be daddy, I'm trying to be teacher, I'm trying to be a lot of different things, while also trying to get work done here for The Athletic, writing stories, doing podcasts, doing everything that I still do.
All right, so let me ask you something. When we talk about the Canes, what are they doing right now? How has this altered everything when it comes to Corona?
Yeah, well, the ACC just announced basically that they've canceled everything through the spring. Originally, everything was on suspension, but now everything is canceled. And the University of Miami announced earlier this morning that everything will be distance learning in terms of the rest of the spring semester. So students will be told to go home and do online classes, etc. I think March 25th, they're going to be shutting down some on-campus housing. So really, it's a disruption for a lot of these kids, especially the guys who don't live here in South Florida. the recruits at Miami, and then players at Miami who aren't from South Florida. They all got to go home and be away from the team. And so a lot of this is going to be on them in terms of staying in shape, checking in with coaches, learning the playbook, and keeping themselves ready for whenever they are allowed to come back to school and whenever they are allowed to resume football activities. I know this, it's going to be a few months, and I would not be surprised if somewhere down the road the NCAA gets all of the teams that weren't able to get their spring practices in some extra time and preparation, assuming football resumes on time in August.
All right, so let me ask you, when example, Vasiljevic, there's some talk that some of these guys will get another year of eligibility. Now, he was the guy that they were going to lose, and I know they're a really young team, and they're going to add some All-Americans next year or whatever, some really high recruited guys. I forgot their names now, but they got one or two of those guys coming. Does a guy like Vasiljevic get the extra year? And how about on the football team? How does this affect the football team for practices and things like that down the line into the summer?
Yeah, it's a good question, though. Look, I think the initial idea of what I've heard from the NCAA is it's only going to pertain to spring sport athletes. I don't think anybody who was involved in football in the fall or anybody in the winter sports, I think unfortunately for them, this is kind of considered it. I think it's more geared towards the spring sport athletes, the baseball players, the softball players, the other sports that really weren't allowed to even really have much of a season. Obviously, the baseball team played a few games, so I think it's more geared towards them in terms of what the NCAA is going to do in terms of giving them an extra year of eligibility. But again,
and UM's basketball season was over anyway, right? So it wouldn't matter.
Exactly. Right? Okay. Exactly. I think basketball was over, and so you're not going to have. I would be shocked if the NCAA included basketball. I mean, that would be a major change, I think, an approach that most people don't expect. So I think right now, as far as the basketball team is concerned, it's all about getting those recruits, guys that they've had committed and guys that they've already signed in this next class to come in and help raise the bar with some of the guys who will be coming back. Earl Timberlake is the big 5-star recruit that everybody's excited about, but I think Earl still hadn't signed any official paperwork. Small forward out of Maryland, DeMatha, basically saying he's definitely coming to Miami. So that's something that Miami wants to make sure it gets finalized, because he's a top 25 player, nationally a 5-star recruit, and sort of the crown jewel in the class. But look, I think, again, all that's going to matter now here, is, the athletes that aren't playing sports right now, because there's nothing to do. Nobody's allowed to play. We can't get groups together of more than 10 people because of what the president said last night. That's the recommendation anyway. These guys just got to – this is where discipline comes in, right, where these kids stay focused. They continue to work out on their own in their homes or wherever they can that's safe, and they stay out of trouble. And that's all you can really expect from these athletes right now if you're a coach at Miami. I think, you're in the contact, during the off season, football coaches are only allowed a certain amount of hours, where they can interact with kids. And basically right now, I think we're back to sort of that phase where, because everything is canceled, it's technically like a dead period where you're limited in the number of hours you can have in terms of contacts with players anyway. So this is just like going into the off season, and those players and those athletes being told, hey, be good kids and study up and do your work online, do your schoolwork online, and then work out and keep yourself in shape for when we do come back.
It's really amazing how this whole thing has changed everybody's lives here. And when I look at some of these sports and listen, for you, I mean, how are you, walk us through this? How are you working now? How are you doing anything now when you don't have access to people? Are they getting people on the phone for you? How do you cover it now?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, there's none of that that's going on in terms of teams helping us get in contact with athletes. I mean, a lot of this now for journalists turns into, your sources and the people that you talk to get information from. And, whenever people do make comments on social media, these athletes, or when they go on radio shows or podcasts and they talk, I mean, that's kind of what you have to do. You have to gather your information any way that you can get it. I know for me, one thing that I appreciate working for The Athletic and not working for the newspapers anymore is a lot of my interviews and a lot of the stuff that I collected over the last several months. I didn't use it all. I didn't go out there and write like Barry Jackson does, God bless his soul, 5-6 stories a day and throw everything out there. I saved a lot of my interviews. I saved a lot of my content. So I have stuff to write about, things that I haven't even written about yet. It's going to help carry me here through the next couple months. But it's scary. It's scary if you work in this business as a journalist. It's obviously scary for the whole world what's happening with this virus. But as journalists are concerned, everybody's scared because, without sports, without new things to write about, without fresh topics, what are you supposed to do? And so I know people at the newspapers and so forth are going to keep trying to crank out content. But right now, I mean, it's only been a week. So let's see what happens in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, in a month, 2 months, 3 months. What are they going to be doing then? It's going to really, challenge us as far as our creativeness to write about things that would interest people and to keep the business going. And I can tell you this, at The Athletic, where we have a company of almost 500 employees and sports writers all over the globe. We had a meeting last Friday, and they told us, hey, look, we know readership's going to go down. We know people are going to be upset that there's no new sports and nothing to write about. You guys are smart people, though, and we know you've got stuff to write about it. So I'll do the best that I can, and I think everybody at The Athletic is going to do the best that they can.
So Ereck Flowers signs with the Miami Dolphins after having a terrible run at tackle because he was bad. He played 1 year at guard for the Washington Redskins and had one hell of a year for him. So you've been around this guy, and maybe you followed a little bit of what he did in the NFL. Your thoughts on Flowers coming to the Miami Dolphins?
Well, if he's going to play guard, I don't think it's a bad signing. I think he's, according to Pro Football Focus last year, I think he ranked 30th among guards in terms of their grading system. And I know it's not a perfect science what PFF does, but, money-wise, I don't know how that ranks among all the guards in the NFL. You probably have a better idea of that than I do. But if he's going to play guard and he's going to be a top 30 guard, that means really he's one of the best. You got to play two guards. So, top 15 at his position, whether it's left or right guard, wherever he plays. So I think, it's a good signing for Miami in the sense that that's a position of need. You need some offensive linemen. He's an experienced guy. He's a talented guy who was a first-round pick. I've known Ereck since he was a sophomore in high school, at New Orleans. And watching him grow up and play. In fact, I live out here in West Pines. Him and his dad were working out at the LA Fitness where I was going for a couple of years. So I remember seeing him a few times. I know it was a disappointing start to his career in New York, but look, a lot of these guys, you've seen it happen before. They get drafted, they have high expectations, they disappoint, and then teams like New England, the Patriots, end up getting them after they, at the end of not at the end of their careers, but after a few years, and all of a sudden they get their act together, they turn into better players, and maybe that's the case for Ereck Flowers. I'm hoping the Dolphins can get a guy who is really, top 30 at his position, and is a good player for him.
The one thing I see it's not a crippling deal or anything. They can actually get out of it after the second year, if anything, if he struggles and doesn't make the transition. But obviously, they must have seen something in the tape that they said, okay, this guy's transitioned and is comfortable at this position instead of being outside in space.
Right. And the reality is, though, these NFL teams spend a lot of time looking at their options, during the offseason, the front office. I mean, they look at, okay, what's the best option available? They look, obviously, at the draft. What's the best value? Again, the Dolphins didn't break the bank to sign Ereck Flowers, but, they did spend, a good amount of money. What is it, $19 million guaranteed? So, you hope that it works out. He's still a young enough guy that I think if he's in the right system and he's got the right coach and the right team that he's playing on, he could be a good player. He's a talented player. He's a guy who's certainly worthy of being in the NFL. This isn't some huge gamble. He had a good year last year with the Redskins. Let's see what happens now with the Dolphins.
All right. So, anybody else you watching UM-wise in free agency?
Well, Jimmy Graham, I saw signed with the Bears, so that was an interesting move. It's crazy to think that arguably the best football player to come out of Miami was recruited by Frank Hayes in the last decade, but it's true. I mean, Jimmy's a 5-time Pro Bowler, a couple times on an All-Pro team. There's not a lot of teams out there that are kicking ass anymore, man. There's a lot fewer Pro Bowlers. The whole class of UM players, UM football players, in terms of the best of the best, those guys are getting older. Obviously, Calais got traded to the Ravens. That was a big move, and he's getting himself somewhat of a payday there. So, look, man, I'm always interested in what the pro teams are doing. I think this program badly needs some really good next generation players to emerge. I think you've got one in Gregory Rousseau. You could have one in Brevin Jordan. To me, that's sort of the next wave of big-time NFL players to come out of Miami. I think those guys will be very good pros.
Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work there at The Athletic. What are you working on so folks can catch you in between babysitting on your stories?
Well, I just did a long piece yesterday on posted late last night around 7 o'clock on the recruiting department. A year ago at this time, Manny Diaz basically restructured his recruiting department. He had one guy at that point that was working with the coaching staff on evaluating players. Matt Doherty ended up getting rid of him, brought in David Cooney, who was an offensive analyst. DeMarcus Van Dyke, a former Canes player, who was a defensive analyst, and then he hired Edwin Pata, who was obviously the older brother of the late Brian Potter, who was shot and killed 13 years ago, former Hurricane. And anyway, Edwin was coaching FAMU and FIU and locally here in high school. All three of those guys grew up in South Florida, guys in their 30s, and he has basically brought them in to handle and modernize the recruiting department, which is splitting up all the duties, man, that it takes to be on kids nowadays, especially with social media. His whole goal was to have them develop great relationships, not only with the players, but the parents, the 7-on-7 coaches, whoever it is that helps these kids in making their decision. And Miami really didn't have that before. They just had their coaches handling that. So, you look at what college football has turned into in these last 5 to 10 years in recruiting. Georgia spends $3.6 million. They spent $3.6 million, the most among Power 5 schools last year, just on recruiting. And that's hiring people to do these little graphics that these recruits use. And I don't know if you noticed, follow any of these recruits, but they're posting these things on social media all the time. These photos of them in the school uniform with all these cool little graphics. I mean, there's people now working on staff at the University of Miami and Power 5 programs across the country that their job is simply to create these graphics for recruits to basically entertain them on social media. That's what it's become now. And so, Manny Diaz basically recognized that the system Miami had in place was outdated, and these three dudes that I mentioned were brought in to help anchor a lot of the modernization of Miami's recruiting efforts. So to me, it's a story behind the scenes. It shows you their approach, the philosophy, what they're doing. It's an interesting read, and I'm going to have some more stuff. I have a second part to that little series that'll be coming out just on the 2020 recruiting class and how that was that they landed the 24 commitments. Because, we always hear about, hey, I committed, but what kind of effort really took into getting these kids, the stories behind the stories from the Miami perspective of what it took to get those kids. Not, hey, this kid just liked Miami and picked them over Florida State. This is a more in-depth story. So if you're interested and you're bored at home, like a lot of us are, check out these stories on theathletic.com, and I'm going to be cranking them out here in the days and weeks ahead.
And follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. And of course, we thank Caneswear, Brett, all the great people at Canesware, 2511 South University Drive. Support Brett and all the great people at Canesware because they support us. Manny, as always, my brother, thank you for taking the time and the insight. We appreciate it.
Hey, well, thanks for having me on, and stay safe, everybody.
You got it, baby. There you go. Definitely stay corona-free, folks. All right, Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Let me see what we got here on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Let's see. Teddy is headed to Carolina. What do you think about the move, O? I mean, what am I going to tell you about Teddy Bridgewater? Great kid. He's just a guy. Nothing special about Teddy Bridgewater. He's a special human being. You want him to marry your daughter, but he's not the guy that is going to actually make a difference. He's a game manager at best. Last year with the Saints, he played for 5 weeks, and yes, they won, but that's because everybody did really well. The guy threw 9 touchdowns in 5 weeks, so he couldn't even average 2 touchdowns a week. And in this league, you've got to be much more explosive, and it doesn't matter where Bridgewater has played. None of his offenses are explosive. Big O, do they have that fire wedding cake? I need some before they put us on lockdown. Fire wedding cake. All right. Just listening now, the first segment, man, I told you I wanted to kick Tom Brady's ass for at least a couple of years. It sucks that he won't be there. There's still an ass load of people saying he may come to the Dolphins. Let's hope that's not true, Stephen Pensacola. He's not coming here, dude. What about Emmanuel Ogbah depth move? I like it. No, it's definitely a move where you get another rotational defensive end in there. You know, they're not going after the one guy that they're going to pay $30 million. They're going to have several guys. Okay, I got something here. Let's see. All U.S. citizens are entitled to $700 U.S. per week to stay at home to avoid the spread of corona. Starting March 16th through 2020, the government grant pay is accessible to all, no matter employment status. I did not know that. Cubano in North Carolina. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Got to look that up. Dolphins going crazy in free agency, and Brady is leaving the Pats. Finally, some light for the long-suffering Fins fans. I think the Dolphins are creating their own light, my man, because they finally put somebody in place that went and put people in place to actually straighten out this franchise and put it in the right direction. Let's see. Jess in Minneapolis, Van Noy, Jones, Lawson, Flowers, and Fegelim. The front office went shopping. Talk to me, looks like the defense was addressed a little bit. Yes. And as I've said, I love the moves. You can go back and listen to the rest of the show, and you'll hear it, and I broke it down. I love what the Dolphins are doing. So much for the Dolphins not spending big in free agency. Addictions are hard to break. It's not a lot of money. Yeah, the Byron Jones one is a lot of money. The other deals are not that big. It's not really that much. It's people that they actually needed. Okay? Bro, tell me Manny got a new phone or better call service. It's distorted Gargle Fest. Manny sounded good. And we don't know if Herbert is Big Ben 2.0 or Tannehill 2.0. Your guess is as good as mine. Those are some of the questions on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Ray Grulong is saying, Big O, QB, defensive tackle, offensive line, go Fins. Thank you for keeping us informed. Saludos. I think wide receiver is also an option, too, for the Dolphins. And center. Center is also a position for the Dolphins. Don't be surprised if they go for a center also somewhere in the draft. Okay? Those are all true, man. Those are all true. So, what can I tell you? 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. At the bottom of the hour, Kevin Sheehan from the Team 980 is going to join us. So we will ask him about Ereck Flowers. We'll get his thoughts on Ereck Flowers because he saw the good of Ereck Flowers for 1 year. Here's a guy that, was terrible for the Giants, did not work out as a first-round pick, then gets cut and goes to Washington. They move him to a new spot, and he excels. So Kevin Sheehan is the guy that's been around, Ereck Flowers. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break so we get ready for Ereck Flowers. Let me tell you about EJD Construction. I saw Eric was on the chat board there checking us out. And let me tell you something. Not only is he a loyal listener, but he's a proud sponsor of our show. And if you need, not a handyman, I'm talking about custom home construction, major home remodeling. These guys are awesome, man. He's got a staff that's amazing. Call him 305-318-4978. Hey, you're home a lot right now. Maybe you want to redo that kitchen or the man cave or the garage or maybe you want to create a whole new room there or you want to do the front yard or something. Call EJD Construction. They do it all. Great communication with you, the owner, and the architect. That's why their work is second to none. Call them 305-318-4978. Tell them that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you. EJD Construction.
I got my ballot and the proposal for.
Imagine.
I got my ballot and the proposal for the new CBA.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Big O Show. This is the 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 Big O Show.
All right, we are back. I'm going to try and get in contact with Kevin Sheehan here from the Team 980 to get the latest on. We're going to talk about Eric Flowers, since Flowers had a really good season with the Washington Redskins. Miami has signed Eric Flowers to a 3-year, $30 million deal. And so far, I got to say, I really love what the Dolphins have done in free agency so far. There's a lot of method to the madness. They're taking advantage of certain things. This is not a strong draft for pass rush. So they go and get 3 guys that can help them out in that area, in Van Noy, in Shaq Lawson, and what's his name, Odabe or whatever. Now I'm forgetting his name, Obata, whatever his name is. You know who I'm talking about, the other guy that they signed. So to me, this is a smart way of doing things, because you're taking advantage of the strength of free agency, and you're avoiding the weakness of the draft. There aren't a lot of great pass rushers, and we all know the Dolphins needed to get after the pass rusher. And by adding also a shutdown corner, you have also put yourself in a position where your pass rushers are going to be a little better than they normally are, because you've got 2 really good corners that can actually stay with wide receivers. You know what I mean? So that in itself, I think is a really cool thing for the Miami Dolphins, that they have done it a smart way, where I think the 14 draft picks are going to be focused a lot on offense. And whether it's center, whether it's tackles that they need, maybe a wide receiver, since this is such a loaded wide receiver draft, I think you got to take a wide receiver in this draft. I really do. Running back is also a possibility in this draft. There's a lot of needs that they can fill, especially on the offensive side. You know, this isn't a strong tight end draft. And the good thing is that Gesicki actually kind of took a step forward last year at that spot. So now you're not desperate for that position, because you got a playmaker at that position. And again, smart. Okay, we got our tight end. We don't have to trade for a Hayden Hurst or anything like that that's gone on. You know what I mean? This is not a strong draft for tight ends. We got our guy. This is not a strong draft for pass rushers. Let's get a couple in free agency. Let's take care of that job right there and then. Because maybe they don't feel that A.J. Epinesa is going to be an elite pass rusher, so they're going to pass on him at 18 if he's there. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that they've got to kind of forecast, ahead of time. And that's what they're doing now. They're forecasting the way they're building their team. You see a lot of influence on defense. Now on offense, I think you're going to feel that in the draft overall. And again, guards are kind of a tricky position too in the draft. So they got Eric Flowers now at that guard spot. Tackles really strong in that first round, where you have 3 picks. Miami is going to have to come away with the tackle, I think, at number 5 overall, because those top 4 guys, 5 guys, 4 at least will be gone before your 18th pick. Maybe Jackson from USC might be available to you at number 18. Forget 26. And I think they're kind of anticipating that. That's why I kind of feel that the 5th overall pick, maybe they take Tua. But if they don't take Tua, then I think it's going to be a tackle. That's what I truly feel. And then you'll take another one later on in that first round if you can get one, or a second-tier one in that second round. It's probably what's going to happen since you have so many of them. How we doing with Kevin? Nothing? Nothing? I guess we got nothing from Kevin, unfortunately. So what can I tell you? All right, we'll try to we'll try and get in contact with him and bring him on. Hopefully we'll get him on to talk a little bit about Eric Flowers. If we can't, we can't. What are you going to do? Texans, they trade for David Johnson, and they trade away DeAndre Hopkins. These are the moments where, and I've been on this for a while now, telling you about Bill O'Brien, how overrated he is, and I told Texans fans on the national show that they're going to regret putting that guy there as a general manager. And general managers have one job, and head coaches have a completely different job. And the head coach has to worry about the now and coach the now, whereas the general manager has to worry about the now and the future. And he has to balance both. And that's where that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where you end up having trouble, because there are few guys that can actually do this. And Belichick is one of those guys that can do it, because he's willing to make the tough decisions. And he has the foresight, usually, of having a plan in place in order to replace any player. It'll be very interesting to see what plan he has in place to replace Tom Brady, and if the Patriots can be the same kind of team. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that's to me, if I'm a Texans fan, dude, you sign Randall Cobb to a 3-year, $27 million deal, a guy that's on a decline already, and you're relying on another injured, well, not an injured, but an often injured wide receiver to be your lead guy, because Will Fuller is a terrific receiver when he can stay healthy. Kiki Kuti, that they also have there, he was a slot guy. He was also banged up all year. And this guy's a stud, Hopkins, and you're going to trade him because you've got some kind of issue with him, but yet he's a monster wide receiver? To me, it doesn't make any sense. And if I'm a Texans fan, that's where I got to tell you, you've got to be absolutely depressed about all of this.
Oh, let me interrupt you. We just got a phone call from the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Some of our fans down there, James and them are listening.
Okay.
He's like, we're their lifeline, dealing with this coronavirus and stuff like that. He couldn't tell me a stadium of where Guns N' Roses conceivably will be playing a concert, but he's been a long-time listener, blah, blah, blah. Shout out to James.
Oh, James, what's up, buddy?
Just called VSS from the Dominican Republic.
Have a Presidente on us, bro. The big Presidentes, because they got the bigger bottles over there.
What, the King Kong bottles?
Yeah, I think they've got those there of Presidente. How about that? We got a listener in the Dominican Republic calling over here at BSS West Pines. We love that. That is awesome. So he doesn't even know where Guns N' Roses would be playing?
No, he didn't. He didn't go into that, but he was all about we are their lifeline concerning the coronavirus.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, James. James, you said, right? James, thank you for listening. Appreciate all of you tuning in over there.
He's a long-time listener.
Yeah, we got people watching in England. We got them in the Dominican, in the Bahamas. They're like Sagua Fair. They're everywhere. What's happening? I like it. Some guy walked in with a shirt that says Sunshine Cannabis and a hat that says Gainesville Green.
Fired it up.
There you
Fired
go.
up.
They are the state brand. Okay. Roll them and smoke them if you got them. Anyway, so it's a beautiful thing. Thank you for listening
Roll
to
a
us.
fatty, it'll make you happy.
Maybe they're going to do it on the beach. Maybe Guns N' Roses just blocking off some beach or something to do the concert.
Man, the last time concert on the beach, you know what my last two are? Obviously, Sheryl Crow and Goo Goo Dolls back in the day across from the Clevelander.
Yeah.
And then Spring Break for
Art?
Lauderdale.
Art behind the
Art,
Yankee Clipper.
yes.
Yep. I remember that. I still have the cassette that I recorded that concert. I held up a tape recorder and I recorded Heart behind the Yankee Clipper, and this is like 1984, 83 or something. It's got to be 83 or 84. It wasn't 85. It wasn't our senior year.
Quarter Flash?
Opened
Night
up?
Ranger?
Did
Heart?
Did
right?
they open up?
I think so. I think it was Quarter Flash, Night Ranger, Heart, right?
No, I don't think it was 3 bands. Was it 3 bands?
Yes, dude, it was Fort Lauderdale Spring Break. There was 400,000 of us out there.
There was a bunch of people. I remember the people that they were throwing beer cans that were loaded to knock the people off the
palm trees.
Palm trees. There were people that climbed up the palm trees to get a better angle at Heart, and there were people who were throwing cans, full cans of beer. And by the way, they hit one dude that they knocked him off the tree. I remember that.
That was the last year Spring Break was in Fort Lauderdale before it moved up to Daytona Beach.
Probably, yes. Yes, it was pretty close to yes. Yes, I think so. Yes. Ray Goulong says, another longtime listener, Dominican here, Big O. On a lighter note, Tannenbaum looks constipated on ESPN. Bro, the fact that they use him as that insider, I just laugh my ass off. I mean, I think that's funny as hell that he is their insider. You know what I'm saying? Here's a guy that was a disaster with the Jets, a
He's
disaster
really an outsider.
with the Dolphins.
He's the outsider.
Oh, my Lord. Wow. Lakeisha Smith says, Hart is so awesome. You are right, Lakeisha. Kevin Yambor says, real stoners will know what's up. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? Lakeisha says 242 to the world. What does that mean, Lakeisha? What does 242 to the world means?
I know front 242.
I know front 242, but I don't know what 242 to the world means. You got me there, Lakeisha. I have no idea what that means, sweetie. Have no idea. You're going to have to explain to me what 242 to the world means. Not sure what that means. But I appreciate it either way. Oh, we were hoping to get Kevin Sheehan on, but unfortunately, anything? Have you tried again, or what's the deal, bro?
2 texts, 3 phone calls.
Nothing?
Nada.
Damn, bro. I wanted to hear about Eric Flowers. I was hoping that we were going to get a little insight on Eric Flowers. But unfortunately, we did not get anything. Too bad. I wanted to hear his opinion on Kevin and see what he actually thought. How about the Raiders signing Marcus Mariota? Is that amazing or what? Now, Gruden bragged about Mariota during the draft that year. He loved Mariota, and now he's signing Mariota. That is as classic as it gets right there. Gruden thinks he's like the guru that can fix quarterbacks. Wow. Mariota. Now, he'll still stay injured, and he still won't be good enough. Tom Brady reportedly has made his decision. That's what reports say. We still don't know what Tom Brady will do, but we apparently know he has decided what to do whenever he does it. Let's see. Colin Cowherd posted a tweet, said, breaking, Tom Brady made his decision. The Chargers and Buccaneers. Cowherd is in L.A. and has ties to the Chargers, so there's that. With Brady making it known on Tuesday morning that he's not returning to the Patriots, it's possible that some other teams suddenly mashed the gas pedal. Regardless, it sounds like a decision will be coming, and maybe frequent Brady interview or Jim Scratchy Gray will get a chance to ride sidecar for Brady's announcement 10 years after LeBron James told Gray that LeBron would be taking his talents to South Beach. So Tom Brady has made his decision. We are waiting. I think most of us are thinking Tampa Bay, right? Do you really go play for the Chargers?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't see you playing for Dean Spanos.
You don't even have any fans. You don't have fans.
No,
that little soccer stadium, 3/4 of those people are from the visiting team.
Yeah, well, now you move into the big stadium. This year they move into.
It'll look even worse.
This year they move into the Rams' new stadium. Within an hour, the Panthers announcing that they had given up Cam Newton. They have given Cam Newton permission to seek a trade. They appear to have found a replacement. According to Mortensen, the Panthers are expected to have a deal finalized with Teddy Bridgewater. When the league year opens, the deal would be a 3-year, $60 million range. So, wow. Okay. All righty. Teddy Bridgewater is not the answer, man. I'm sorry. He's just not the answer. But whatever, you know.
There's no worse a move yesterday than the Bears picking up Jimmy Graham. They already had 8 tight ends on their
I don't know.
roster.
I think the Bears talking Andy Dalton, Nick Foles.
Yeah, that's even worse.
That's pretty bad. I mean, think about this. You're the Bears. You have Mitchell Trubisky, who can't hit the side of a barn, okay? Plus, he's ultra-sensitive. He wants TVs in the locker room turned down if they're criticizing him. And so now the Bears, they don't go after Tom Brady. No. They're thinking about Andy Dalton and Nick Foles. I mean, come on, dude. Andy Dalton with that little pop gun arm, like that guy can't get you over the top. And Nick Foles is a Jag. Now, I know he's a Jag, but he's a Jag. Like he's just another guy, not literally a Jag.
Look at that list.
And just
we have Graham, Burton, Sheehan, Niga from Kansas City, Bannon Kaner, Horsted, Holtz, Sauerbert, and Raymond. We have 9 tight ends. We need 2 offensive linemen, a defensive lineman, a corner, a safety, and a quarterback, and we've got 9 tight ends.
The Bears are the Bears.
Retarded.
So they've got Dalton and Nick Foles that they're going, well, because Bridgewater was kind of mentioned too, but he's a Jag also, and he's not going to do anything for you. You know what I mean? So it's really ridiculous.
It's tough being a Bear fan, man. They just, at every turn.
They are, and it's a shame because they've got a pretty damn good team right now that if they made the right moves, they'd be special. And this is a team that's going to end up, their window's going to close and they're never going to take advantage of it. And when you're thinking Dalton or Nick Foles, it just like, okay, so how can you be so good at picking all these other positions and then you suck completely at quarterback? And Nagy's an offensive guy. So you would figure he would know a quarterback, and they went all in on Trubisky. And now you're thinking of Andy Dalton and Nick Foles, and I know one of their coaches, coached up Andy Dalton back in the day in Cincinnati. But it just, to me, you got a team, man.
They both actually have ties.
An opportunity at getting it done, and this is what you're going to do. You're going to go after Nick Foles.
They actually
Andy
both
Dalton.
have ties to coaches.
Yeah,
Foles
I know.
And Dalton. And that's still – those guys have never – look, Dalton is 70-65 as a starter in his career. Foles is 30-24. Nothing special.
Nope, nothing at all. All right, let's do this, man. Let me tell you a little bit about Craig Zins. Acura of Pembroke Pines, folks, they got some great deals going on right now, 2020 models. The ILX is $209, the TLX is $249, the RDX $339, the MDX $349, only $29.99 do-it signing, plus tax tag and registration, folks. Check it out. Get on down to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. We'll be out there this Friday like we are every Friday, broadcasting live from 9 to 11 in the morning at, of course, the finest Acura dealership on the planet. It is Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 Big O Show.
We are back here at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. All right, I promised you here at the top of the hour, but we're going to do it now. We're going to talk to Mark Lillibridge. Of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Bridges Football and check out the Brawl Network also, where you can catch my man Bridge. Of course, Bridge was a former player, former agent, scout, contract negotiator. He's done everything in this business, knows the game inside and out. So I figured we'd check in with Bridge and get his thoughts on the moves by the Miami Dolphins. Bridge, first of all, how are you doing, my friend?
I am wonderful, and, I always love coming on your show. You are a consummate pro, and it's a great time, man. I'll tell you what, with everything else shut down, this free agency, I know people, there's a lot of other negative things going on in the world, but this is for a football fan, a football guy like me. I love it, and I think it's taken my mind off a lot of other things happening in the world, and I've been able to enjoy it. So I hope the people tuning in are getting a little bit of a break from the seriousness of the virus, and they can listen to some football and things that are fun.
Well, I got to tell you something, Bridge. I freaked Dolphin fans out last year because they thought I was maybe coming from an evil place. Because I said, this is going to be one of my favorite Dolphin seasons. And they're like, are you kidding me? And I said, no, I'm not, because it's not about the wins or the losses. It's the fact that they tore it down the right way to then rebuild it back up the right way. And that's what I love what Chris Grier did. He did what real football people do. He cleared out all the bad salaries. Couple guys that maybe didn't want to be here, got rid of them too. Got all this draft capital, and then in free agency, I actually pretty much predicted what went on. I said, hey, this time around, the Dolphins aren't going after 30-year-old free agents and giving them 3-4-year deals and all. No, if they go after guys, they're going to be guys in their mid-20s that they can live out those contracts. And sure enough, that's what they have done, guys that they can build on. And to me, that's why this year has been so gratifying. And now, at least in my eyes, I love this first day and first wave of free agency and what they've done and the way they're going about it. So you tell me, since they took over till now, your thoughts on what the Dolphins have done.
Well, I think a couple of things I tweeted out about it, and I believe this. Number one, you were right. When you came on my podcast, NFL Brawl, of course, with Will Witherspoon and Mike Brez, you talked about this. You talked about this early in the fall about the rebuild. And this wasn't they weren't, whatever. What was it? Tanking for Tua or whatever else. They're probably going to end up getting him, which is great. They still had a great year or a better year win-wise than I think a lot of people thought. But I think what they did late in the season, the Dolphins did a great job of. I think they're veteran players and guys like the guys they signed up for. He saw that this was a rebuild and saw that, hey, man, they weren't messing around. They're trying to clean house and do it, rebuild it the right way. And I think a lot of franchises did that. Chris Ballard did that with the Colts. You've seen some other teams have done that. I mean, even with, they reorganized a little bit with the Chiefs. But it's just, for me, I think what the Dolphins have done, the signings they've got, Shaq Lawson, Byron Jones, Kyle Van Noy, Eric Flowers, all of those guys, all four of them, former first-round draft choices. Okay, so these were guys that were looked at coming out of college, came from good programs, but were looked at as they were valuable commodities at that point. They've all had good careers. Now, every one of them, no off-the-field issues, great character. Every one of them has position versatility. They all are guys that will completely change the culture of what Brian Flores and Chris Grier are trying to do with the Dolphins. And so I think there's always kind of that turnover, right? And with Stephen Ross, where it was just kind of plug and play, find a guy, put him in, pay whoever you want to, and just hope. It was really kind of a hope that these guys would pay dividends. You actually see a plan taking place here. You can actually sit there as a fan and say, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. And so I think what they've done is they've completely transformed this organization to what I think a lot of people thought it was going to be all the time, and it just never got there. And now you can actually, as a fan, look at the picture and say, okay, I see what they're trying to do. I see the blueprint, and I'm on board. And so, again, now you got to find a quarterback. But I think the other pieces are in place You have two legit corners, the top two paid corners in football, both really good football players. You have Kyle Van Noy, won Super Bowl championships. Shaq Lawson understands how to do this, can play all along the defensive front. Eric Flowers has shown he can play guard or tackle. They got Ogba, who was a second-round pick, but people had projected him to be a first-rounder from Oklahoma State. This guy's got some position versatility. I just think they've done a phenomenal job, and they're building it the right way.
Yeah, I'm with. And the other thing I saw about this, and I was talking about this on the show, I love the way they approach this, and I can talk to you about this because you follow the draft too. The draft isn't strong at pass rush. So they went and got themselves a couple of pass rushers to protect themselves. They know it's a stronger draft on the offensive line. They know it's a stronger draft on offense. So all those picks, I can see that the free agency part is defensive influenced. Something tells me the offensive side is going to be influenced heavily on that in that draft. You agree?
I do 100%. I think this is so deep with the receiver class, but even then, right? I mean, last year, some of the veteran guys, Alvin Wilson's guys, those guys, they bought in, and they were like, "Hey, man, we believe in this team." And you see some guys that have, from the last year's group that have kind of said, "Hey, man, this is where we want to be." They've done a great job of getting picks, but you're right. I think that they'll go heavy offense, probably offensive line, receivers. You hope that Galinsky, am I saying it right? The tight end from Penn State. You hope that he can kind of have the. Yep, you hope that he can kind of have the next maturation in his career, and that he can, take that step that people thought he was going to be coming out of college. And so I think I think you're right. I joked though. I did joke today, and I think it'd be funny if you're going to say you're going to take a quarterback in the first round. I just think it'd be cool, man. Just everybody else owns the Dolphins, right? I mean, Jennifer Lopez has a little piece, and you know better than me, but there's just so many other entertainers. I just said, why don't they Giselle could probably buy him outright with all her money. Give Brady part of ownership. Let him be a 2-year bridge quarterback until you get to Tua and roll from there.
That would be kind of interesting if they can do that. I think he's going to end up going to Tampa, actually, if when it's all said and done. The Brady thing. After the second year. So it's not – that's one thing I told Dolphins. In today's NFL where the cap's at $200 million, you're paying $10 million for a guard. I know it's a lot of money for you and me, but in the NFL you're really not investing that much because if you look at it, look at Tunney now. He's got a tag for almost $15 million. That's what you're paying for elite guards. You're going to pay 15, maybe even a little bit more in the open market. So you're not paying for elite, but if he plays at the level he played last year, it becomes a solid bargain at $10 million, actually.
Agreed. And the other part about it is that people forget, and I think we're so just because everything happened so fast right before free agency, the collective bargaining agreement was ratified. So these dollars, the salary cap is going to go up, and especially as we added that other 17th game and move through this and we get the new TV deal, the cap's going to go up, $15, $20, $25 million a year as we find out what these new deals are going to be. And so then you look back on it in 2 years, at $10 million, you're going to be like, if he plays, even let's just say he doesn't play as well as he did last year, but he's a legit serviceable starter, maybe above average starter. That's going to be the going rate. $10 million is going to be the going rate for guys like that. You're like, all right, we got a heck of a deal. Yeah. He plays at a Pro Bowl level or an All-Pro level. Now you're sitting there going, all right. I mean, at what point then do we vote Chris Grier for GM of the year?
Soon. That'll be after the draft, baby. After they have a hell of a year and go out and kick some ass. But look. I love that he got Flores. And then his ego, he checked it at the door and said, Reggie McKenzie's available? I'm going to bring him over. Oh, Marvin Allen's available? Oh, I'm going to bring him. And I know both those cats, and I know their reputations. So that tells me that he's all about winning, dude. He's not about, hey, it's my opinion and screw all of you. No, he's like, hey, the more smart people I surround myself with, the more good football people I bring in, the better organization we're going to be. And that, to me, is a sign of a great leader, is a person that's willing to surround themselves with other talented people, and their ego isn't, they're not nervous about it.
Well, that's why I've been saying I've been trying to get you, to do more stuff with the Brawl Network, because I just want to bring in the best. And, I don't have an ego, so I want to get the best guys to help me. So and you would definitely be one of those guys, though. It's always, I love coming on your show, and football, Dolphins football for sure. And I think they've done it. They're doing it the right way. Now, do I know that's going to turn into results? Of course, I don't. You have to win at the quarterback position. It's a quarterback-driven league. You have to be able to figure that out. I still think their running back situation, I want to see that get sorted out as well. Offensively, this team is still lacking for playmakers, to put it simply. But I think they in free agency, they improved, if for nothing else, they improved talent-wise just flat out with Byron Jones and Shaq Lawson. But they won overall with the whole offense and the culture of that building in Davie. That it's just different. This team that was there last year, even though I think it got better as the season progressed, when they walk back in, when they were there allowed back in the building, they're going to walk back in, and this culture is going to be a shock for some guys that, holy cow, man, we're taking this as a business now, and we're going to have some fun. But you know what? You have a lot more fun winning games than you do, quote unquote, rebuilding, and they're on their way.
And Bridge, I can guarantee you that running back, that will be drafted in the first 2 rounds, because in this draft, in the first 2 rounds, there are some really nice backs that you can get in either round. And with 5 picks, they I'm sure they're going to land a tackle or 2 and a running back and a quarterback at least in those 5 picks. I believe that.
Yeah, and I think if you do that, then you're crushing it. And again, you just ultimately the draft is a crapshoot. You're just putting your faith in what Grier has done, Chris Grier, the GM, has done so far, and you just say, hey man, let's go win this draft and get some solid players. And if out of those 5 picks, if you can get 3 starters and 1 Pro Bowler in the next 2 years, as they progress and mature as players, then you've done that. Then it's a win of the draft. You just got to hit 60% of those picks. If you can do that, get starters out of 60% of those 3 out of the 5. Then it was a win as a draft.
If you're a football fan, he's a must-follow on Twitter at Bridges Football. And, of course, you can catch him and many others on the Brawl Network. Who knows, you might catch me also on the Brawl Network. As always, Bridge, you are a stud, and we're always ready to join the Brawl Network, my friend.
Well, hey, man, let's just everybody stay healthy, keep prayers up, and let's get back to real football stuff. And it's bummed the draft isn't taking place. I thought Vegas would be a great place to hold it. I know we'll be doing it via technology. But man, it would have been cool to be walking the streets of Vegas this year,
Tell me about
doing
it.
a draft. I hope the NFL doesn't get rid of that. I hope they give them a chance to maybe get it back.
Oh, they will.
In 2021 or something,
Yeah, they will. A couple years down the line, I think we'll be back in Vegas for it, dude. I lost out on the Pearl Jam concerts and a week in Vegas.
Yep.
So I was I'm bummed, dude. I am totally bummed about it, but you kind of knew it was coming as this thing was growing, dude.
I know you got to go, but I got to tell you, so my favorite story, when I was playing for the Dolphins, and I wasn't there very long, 2 years with Jimmy, we went, Bernie Kosar, who is still one of my favorite human beings of all time, got us backstage passes for Pearl Jam. So it's Larry Izzo, myself, Shane Burton, Zach Thomas. I think, man, it was Etman might have been, or Steve Etman might have been there with us, Kosar. And we're side stage, man, rocking out to Pearl Jam. And they brought us out on stage to sing Alive. Dude, I've never, and then we sang Even Flow with them too. I've never had more fun at a concert in my entire life. And then I didn't realize how teeny Eddie Vedder was until I stood next to him. But man, what a great show, great concert. I was looking forward to seeing them here in St. Louis. And of course, they're not coming back in either because of this. But man, that would have been sweet to see them in Vegas. It's still my favorite band of all time.
Good stuff as always. Bridge, you are a stud, my brother. Thank you for taking some time, man, and giving us some great insight.
Giddy up, brother. You bet, man. Thanks. God bless.
You got it. There you go. Gotta love it, man. Mark Lillibridge. And I know we had some issues with the YouTube, and we went down, and now we're back up again and all that good stuff. You can go to our podcast, and you can listen to the whole interview. He breaks down all kinds of things. By the way, you can call Kevin Sheehan now and get him on. We can get Kevin Sheehan on now to talk a little bit about Eric Flowers. So he is available. So we'll try to get Kevin Sheehan now and do a little back-to-back interviews here with both gentlemen and have a little fun. Well, why don't we do this? Give us a 2-minute break, and then that way you can get the we'll talk to Kevin Sheehan now right after this 2-minute break, and we'll get the latest from Kevin, who'll give us his thoughts on Eric Flowers joining the Miami Dolphins. That's next.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty. We're back here at VSS West Pines. All right, we promised you that Kevin Sheehan is going to join us from the Team 980. You can follow him there at Kevin Sheehan DC. Let's bring him aboard. Let's talk a little bit since Miami made the move for Eric Flowers. The former University of Miami product that struggled big time with the Giants, was pretty much a bust with the Giants, but he seemed to be a revelation for the Washington Redskins. So we'll talk to Kevin. Let's ask him if it's real or if it's Memorex. Kevin, are you even old enough to understand when I say it's real or Memorex? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, I am, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. All right, so you're an old fart like I am now. Okay, all right, good to know. All right, Kevin, so walk us through this, dude. Eric Flowers signs with Miami. A lot of people down here are like, he was really bad at tackle, and I know he had that one good year with Washington. So walk us through this one good year with Washington. How do you assess it with Eric Flowers?
Well, it's really actually an incredible story because his career was basically over a year ago. You know, he was looking like a first-round bust, and the Redskins tried him out at guard. And Bill Callahan, who ended up taking over for Jay Gruden as the interim head coach, did a really good job with him as the offensive line coach. He saw something in him that sort of fit what they were doing from, you know, a scheme standpoint at guard. And he's gone in 1 year from being on the verge of being out of work to $10 million a year. The Redskins wanted him back. They offered him, you know, $8 million a year, but they had just franchise tagged Brandon Scherff, and so they weren't willing to go any higher. But they liked him. He was actually a really good teammate, available. I think he played virtually every snap or most of them, and you know, he's a good player at that position.
Now, when you tell me this, right, okay, in the NFL probably in the last 30 years when it comes to teaching offensive linemen, so how much of that is a factor, my brother? Because, I mean, if you've been around the game, you and I know coaches, especially in football, they make a difference more than any other sport. So what do we do if he's switching teams, but Callahan's not there? Should we still feel comfortable that Flowers is going to continue to excel?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. I don't know. I know that Callahan's a really good offensive line coach. Definitely a guy in Cleveland who, in Callahan went to Cleveland. I thought there was a good chance Flowers would end up in Cleveland. But, the bottom line is big guy, athletic guy, and for whatever reason it didn't work out for him, at tackle. I don't know if it was length or whatever, but it worked out for him at guard. And, I don't think that the Dolphins were the only team interested. Sometimes, you get a guy and it's like you paid top of the market, but there wasn't necessarily as much competition as you thought. But I think Washington was interested. It wouldn't surprise me if Cleveland was interested. But Callahan had a lot to do with his success here.
All right, so you were around the guy, Kevin. What was the difference maybe from Callahan, or maybe Eric told you himself, from tackle to guard? Where did he find his comfort zone? And when you're watching him, what was it about him that really stood out?
He could move, much more than I think most people thought. And obviously he's a big dude. But, they had, especially after Jay Gruden was fired, there was much more of an emphasis on running the football. Adrian Peterson was back there. And, he did a good job. I mean, the Redskins didn't have a lot offensively. And they were missing their best offensive lineman throughout the year in Trent Williams in terms of their most talented guy. But he did a good job at that position. I mean, I don't know what else I can tell you. He was, no one expected much. And sort of compared to what we thought we were getting, we ended up getting a really good player here.
All right, good stuff there. All right, Kevin, let me ask you, draft-wise, my boy has got to be full of crap about taking a quarterback, right? They're going to take Chase Young, right? I mean, there is no way that they end up taking a quarterback, correct?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Chase Young. And now we're into this, weird, mode of not being able to, meet with guys and, normal pro day stuff. And I don't know how much that's going to impact all of this, but I think the Redskins would have seriously done their due diligence on a guy like Tua. One of the things that we've all heard is that they didn't want to feel like they were passing on the next great quarterback. I think there's a lot about Dwayne Haskins that they like, but I think there's a lot that the new coaching staff is unsure of. But I do think, given that their defensive staff with Rivera and Del Rio, I think that there is a lot of excitement over the possibility of getting a generational pass rusher.
He's the best player in the damn draft, dude. Come on. I know that we talk quarterbacks and everything, but it's almost like we've got questions with those quarterbacks, whether it's Tua's durability or Burrow's 1 year or what's it called, Herbert's maturity and Love's inconsistencies. Chase Young's the one guy that looks like he kind of reminds me of Andrew Luck at quarterback, like a can't-miss project. You know, like you get this guy, you're going to plug him and play him, and he's going to become just a freaking stud for you. You know, he just looks like that kind of player that you just, like you just said, generational. That kind of dude.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think Tua's injury history would be way too much of a risk. And in Chase, you know, you if you're gonna, other than the quarterback, what's the next most important position on the field? You could certainly argue it's an outside, you know, edge pass rusher, somebody who really makes an offensive, you know, coordinator and an offense game plan. And the Redskins haven't had a dominant pass rusher in forever. They've got good defensive talent too, young talent, and you know, I think a lot of people hope that maybe he would have the difference or make the difference, in the same way that Nick Bosa made that difference in San Francisco last year. So I agree with you completely. I would be surprised and disappointed if they took anybody but Chase Young at number 2.
Kevin, one more thing before I let you go. Do you think Snyder's kind of learned his lesson and he's going to let the football people do their thing and he'll finally stop meddling? What sense do you get from that?
Well, I mean, we're all hopeful that there's at least a honeymoon period with the new guy. You know, there's a desperation that I think a desperation point that he got to this year. You know, you're a longtime football fan. This used to be, you know, a real, you know, marquee franchise with a winning brand. You have to go a long way back now to remember it, but a lot of us grew up in this city and rooted for a team that, you know, won 3 Super Bowls over a 10-year period and had Joe Gibbs and had Hall of Famers and had a tradition and had, you know, a fan base that was as passionate as any fan base in sports. And it's eroded to the point where, you know, they've probably lost a lot of people for good. You know, he's essentially taken this great thing, this treasure in this city and ruined it over a 20-year period. And last year, really the last couple of years, you know, he's shown up at that stadium with, you know, 15, 20% capacity. And I think it's been, you know, a jaw dropper, and I think he got desperate. So I think at least to begin with, I think Ron Rivera's got some ability to do what he wants to do for a period of time. But if it doesn't go well, I don't think anybody thinks that he wouldn't get, you know, right back to where he was before, which is involved and disruptive and all of that. But for now, I think there's some hope that Ron Rivera's got a chance to build it the way he wants to build it.
Well, I'm hoping that your franchise and our franchise down here in South Florida get back to where they were for many years as some of the marquee franchises in the NFL. It would be really, really nice. Lord knows that the Redskins fans, just like the Dolphin fans, deserve it, man. They've suffered long enough. All right, follow him on Twitter, Kevin Sheehan, DC, and catch his work there at the Team 980. Kevin, as always, my brother, thank you for taking some time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, as always.
You got it, my man. There you go. Kevin Sheehan, man. Good stuff there. And, you see, he liked Eric Flowers, too. And Washington wanted him back. It looks like maybe there were a couple of other teams. Washington had some commitments, whereas Miami does not. So they have more flexibility, a little more money that they can throw around than other teams. So they were able to kind of do that. And listen, again, I'm kind of a wait and see. That's the only one out of the 5 guys that they've signed that I'm like, I kind of need to see it. I'm not like totally turned off by it, but I'm not turned on by it. You know what I'm saying? Just one of those things. But again, it's not an end-all be-all to the cap or anything like that. That's why, again, not a big deal. One way I shouldn't say that. It's not a big deal if it fails. It's a huge deal if it succeeds. Because if he succeeds and plays like last year for the next couple of years, you end up getting a bargain. Okay? That's just the way if he does what he did last year for the next couple of years, he might even make a Pro Bowl. You don't make it on 1 year because it's only 1 year. And, usually with these kind of things, you got to kind of prove yourself over time and say, okay, you did it the second year, third. That's when you start getting into the Pro Bowl. You usually don't make it on that first go-around. Okay, and again, I'm not telling you he's a Pro Bowl player or anything. All I'm saying is if he happens to match the next 2 years what he did last year, He'll end up in the Pro Bowl. He will. Maybe alternate or whatever, but he'll end up there. Guaranteed. That's the thing. So that's the one position that we got to worry about there. That, all right, we'll see. We'll see what they do. And I know they're going to draft a tackle or two. There's no doubt in my mind that, and this draft will be very offensive. Guaranteed about that. All right. Time to wrap it up here on the show. Thank all the great people. All your Juniors Burgers, by the way. How was your Juniors? How was it? Was it half decent?
Oh, man, beyond that.
Beyond that? What's beyond that? What's beyond half decent?
No, they've won all kinds of awards. They were like
I want
3-4 blocks.
a description from you.
Real steak burger.
There you go.
Okay? Real
steak burger.
Nice and had that right amount of pink, man. Grilled perfect, like amazing.
All right. So in other words, I should get one. And they'll be here. I don't know how much longer they're going to be here. They'll probably be here all afternoon, right?
If I had to venture a guess, probably till 4 or 5.
Yeah. So we're out here at 12397. If you
They've had somebody up against that
Pembroke Road.
Had somebody up against that truck every minute, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. So it's right there in the front. You'll see it. We thank all the great folks out here at VSS West Pines. As always, making it nice and easy for all of us to broadcast out here and have some fun. We've done it for 3 weeks in a row, actually. Jose, Jason, Alex, Tommy, the other Jose, and Sasha. So come on out here. Check them out. They've got all kinds of different items out here. You're going to I'm telling you, it reminds me a lot of the Barefoot Mailman and Spencer's, that kind of stuff. You can get your CBD products, but then they've got all kinds of other funky stuff that's gonna kind of freak you out, and you're gonna go, wow, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. So come on out here and check it out. 12397 Pembroke Road. And of course, we thank them all for being great sponsors of our program. We thank all of you. Record day on the chat board, record day on YouTube. So we appreciate all of that. All of you keeping it locked here on the program. And again, on behalf of John and Bill, as always, great work by them. We will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're in studio. And we should be on right by around 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that. We'll be on. We'll see you tomorrow. You be good out there.